What is going on, everybody? Shane Sams here from the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast and flippedlifestyle.com. Super excited to be with you today. We're going to be talking all about finding your idea, using your God-given talents and experiences to find an idea for an online business and then get that out there so that you can make money online. There's nothing magic to finding your idea. There's nothing, it's not sorcery that some people have ideas and some people don't. All of your ideas come from your talents and your life experience, and you can take those and put them online and make money online just like we have. We talk to a lot of people, guys. Thousands and thousands of people listen to our podcast. We talk to dozens and dozens of people out in the real world when we're at live events or we're speaking, and we talk to hundreds of people inside of our community every single month. And we hear a lot of people come up to us and go, man, I've got a great idea for a business. And we're like, yeah, but it's just an idea. And we've met people that I've had this idea for 3, 4, 5 years. And I've got this idea for a great business. And I'm like, what are you doing? As long as it's in your head, it's never going to make you any money. And that's what we want to do today, is not only help you find your idea, not only help you research and vet your idea on the internet to see if it's actually going to have a chance to be successful, but we want you to take your next steps. We want you to take action. We want you to start moving toward that flipped lifestyle and helping you change your future for your family. Okay. All right. So our first question today is going to come from Steven. And Steven says, I can't think of any online business courses or ideas to start with. What kind of business should I start? Great question, Steven. All right. First things first. You have not watched all the idea courses. You have not watched the idea training in phase 1. If you have, you need to go back and watch it again, because it's going to help you go through the process of picking out, of finding and using your God-given talents and abilities to start, build, and grow an online business. But I'll give you some tips right now. There's 3 things that you got to think about when you're trying to come up with an idea for your business. Okay. What do you know? What do you love? And what have you experienced? Right? Those 3 categories are where your idea will come from. Now, I'm going to detail this. I detail this more in the training, but here's basically how it works. What do you know? Can you turn that into something to help other people that are trying to learn that? Like my first product, I was a football coach and I sold playbooks for a very specific defense. I knew how to run the 3-5-3 defense for high school football. So I focused on what I knew first. We always put no in the first category. It's usually the easiest thing you can come up with. I've got a buddy, he teaches people how to learn a program called Scrivener, right? So like he just learned this program and now he teaches people how to use that program. So what do you know is usually one of your easiest, fastest ways to get an idea started and start learning the ropes of online business. What do you love? That can be more like passions, right? That can be more like, like I love memberships. I love online marketing, man. I could sit and talk about strategy for email marketing every minute of every day for the rest of my life, and I would never get tired of it, right? Like that's things that I'm passionate about that I love. So Flip Lifestyle is a passion project. It's a love project. Usually the thing you know can lead to what you love, right? We don't always start with passions unless you're really deeply experienced in it, because that can get into, well, I just want to walk on the beach for 30 minutes every day. I love that. Well, y'all love that. You can't make a business like that. That's not going to work. Okay. And then the last thing is, what have you experienced or wisdom? We have an awesome member in the community named Robin Mullenkamp. She has a business where her membership is helping breast cancer survivors move on with their life, right? She went through this. She has the experience now, and she's helping other people who are going through the process. So if you're stuck in your idea, if you don't know what to sell, focus on those 3 areas. What do you know? What do you love? What have you experienced? We call that wisdom in my line of work. And then make sure you also take the courses. Guys, if you listen, we can see every single one of you. I'm going to make all of y'all go, oh, no, he's watching. Hey, we can see if you take your courses. We know. We can see the data. We can see what courses you've watched. We can see what courses you finished. Like, we know. And you come ask the question sometimes. You're like, you didn't watch the course. Why didn't you watch the course and then do what it said? So go to the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, Stephen. Watch the idea training and do it this weekend. There's 3 videos in there. Watch them this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Monday, I got a feeling you're going to have a great idea for your online business. It's going to be amazing. Our next question comes from Deidre. Deidre says, my area of expertise is the clinical lab. It seems like just about anything medical will turn up about 100 million views per month. Instead of starting with a website on lab tests, I decided to go with something my family is experiencing. arthritis and total knee replacement. I'm putting together some content for a website. Does this sound reasonable? Would you suggest going with a blog and then a membership in arthritis, anti-aging, and wellness community with an information pamphlet? Okay, so basically, I believe what you're asking me here is this a good idea? As always, I want you to go into the Flip Your Life community, go to phase 1, click the button, and I want you to take all 3 idea courses and properly research and vet this idea. And it will guide. There's actually a keyword research video in there that will help you narrow down those results. So if you've not done that yet, I want you to go and take those courses for sure this week. That's what you're going to do this week. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about this in general. Number one, if you have the expertise to speak medically to arthritis and total knee replacement, I guarantee you there's people out there whose knees are hurting. You know why? I'm one of them. You see these scars? Look at those scars. I'm going to need a knee replacement someday. I'm getting arthritis in my knee and like from whole football injuries. Right? So if I might be your avatar, dude, literally in this. So yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that would love to have someone that could help them get rid of their knee pain. But focus on the problem and focus on the symptom so that you can make sure you speak the language of the person, right? Don't go too broad with this. I love the idea of staying narrow. Like, I'll make your knee stop hurting and I'll keep it from hurting, right? And then you go into the anti-aging and wellness. I know people that do this for migraine headaches. I know people that do this for joint pain. I knew a guy one time that did it for wrists. His whole business was just your wrists hurt, right? Definitely a lot of people doing it on their back pain as well. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely a tried and true niche. You can make a pain go away, literally. Like we always talk about vitamins and aspirin. Vitamins are like, yeah, take your vitamins. You might feel better. You might not. Aspirin's like, I got a headache. Give me an aspirin. Well, this is definitely worse than a headache because it's arthritis in your knee and you have to walk on your legs. So I definitely think it's worth exploring. And I would say that a blog is fine. I don't know about a pamphlet. I don't know what that means. You've got to be able to provide a result. Information is not a lead magnet. Everybody can get something out of that. You're not just trying to inform people with a lead magnet. You're trying to get them to opt in for a result, right? Like, so for knee replacement, it's not the information pamphlet on if you should have a knee replacement surgery. It's, hey, I can make you sleep better tonight. Read this. And then you give them some tips that'll alleviate some of their pain in the short term so that you can help them with the long term. So be careful. Make sure anything medical that you properly research and vet. We're not lawyers. You need to have all your ducks in a row when it comes to the medical stuff. But we've got a lot of successful people in the medical community in the Flip Your Life community that are crushing it in different industries. Everything from birth and babies to back pain. So yes, I definitely think there's something there.
All right. The next question is from Sean.
Over in Indiana, baby. Right next door to Kentucky.
Indiana. He says, I'm in the research area of the Blueprint. My area of expertise is problem solving, aka innovation or creative problem solving. I have tons of tools, research, and resources. I train people to be more creative in all areas of their lives so they can solve life's problems. I thought about focusing on entrepreneurs or business owners, but this feels cliche. I really just want to serve everyone.
Okay. John.
Would love your thoughts and feedback.
Okay. Number one, you can't serve everybody, Sean. Okay. So
you're trying to serve everybody, you're serving nobody.
That's right. And if you've ever been to a member call, you've heard Jocelyn say that 1,000 times. All right. So number one, this question at the heart of it is about choosing a niche for your online business, choosing a niche to make money online, right? So also choosing an idea. That's what we're talking about here. So Sean has his big picture idea. He knows he's a problem solver. I would assume what Sean will create in his member area is going to be frameworks and question worksheets to help people work through a problem, kind of like troubleshooting their problems, right? What he's got to figure out is what problems. It's not just this general template that works for every problem you could ever solve, right? You're going to have to niche down and pick a space. It's not cliche to help entrepreneurs and businesses. That is not true. The reason it may feel cliche is because people who are listening to this Q&A, people who are listening to this podcast, You listen to a lot of business podcasts, so it feels cliches, but 99% of people don't listen to the podcast you're listening to. 99% of people are out there winging it, trying to keep their pizzeria open, right? And they need support, and they need help, and they need problem solving, okay? So I would think that you're going to have to niche down. Now, it doesn't have to be the internet marketing email marketer entrepreneur. Like maybe you're a problem solver that can help small business like restaurants. Maybe you could help grocery stores. Maybe you could help online businesses. Maybe you could help, I know your background, Sean, from knowing you inside the community. We met Sean in person, had a great chat with him at a live event we were at. Your background is in email marketing and organization of inboxes. So maybe there's a wider net there of project management. How do people organize projects to be as organized as the inboxes? I don't know what it is, but the riches are in the niches, and that's as cliche as you want it to be because it's true. And here's the thing about cliches. I love it when people say this. Do you know why they're cliches? Because they're probably true, and it's probably what you should do. Like I'm going to get hammered for saying this by somebody's going to get mad at me. Michael Hyatt is his whole shtick is to be cliche. Everything he says is as clear and cliche as possible by design because great truths are cliche, right? So don't be afraid of cliche, guys. Be cliche. Like the people who are like, oh, that's cliche, I'm not doing that. You know what? They're the people not making any money because all the cliche people are vacuuming up all the cash, right? So don't be afraid of that. You've got to niche down. You've got to pick a niche. You can't serve everybody. And I hate to tell you this, but your framework is not good enough to solve every problem. It might be generally good enough for you to solve every problem, but what can you teach someone else to do? What niche are they in that they can apply the framework? And if you can do that, now you've got a big deal, right? Because you've got to solve
who have you helped in the past? Like who do you have as a testimonial right now? Maybe that could be an idea of where you could go next.
And you've helped people with their inboxes. I know that for sure. So that's probably the springboard of, hey, where else would my organizational framework for inboxes work? And if you can start looking around, you can figure out other places where you can apply the same things that you've been teaching. But for everybody choosing a niche, because that's what this question is really about, is choosing a niche. You got to niche down. You got to solve a problem. You got to solve someone's real problem that they can articulate to you, at least the pain points, or you're not going to be able to make any money. Okay.
Our next question comes from Christian. Christian says, someone told me about your Christian focus in helping others start their own membership business. I've never done this before. I've tried other things, but they just never worked. I'm not sure what topic I would tell them about what they would actually pay for. I don't know what I'm good at creating content. What would you suggest? What you're talking about right here, Christian, is choosing an idea and picking a niche. And it's answering that question, right? Like, what are my God-given talents? What are my God-given experiences? Where have I gathered knowledge and wisdom that I can use to go out and help other people in some way enough to where they'll give me money every single month, right? And what we want you to do is inventory all the good things about yourself. That's what our first course in our idea training is all about. It's identifying your God-given talents and experiences. I can't stress that enough. Guys, it's not just about what you innately can do. It's every moment of your life can be turned into something that can help someone else, and they will pay you for it, right? But I mean, who would have ever thought that Jocelyn could take lesson plans made for elementary school librarians, and that would be a way to make all of her money, right? Who would ever think something like that? Who would ever think that your hobby of raising backyard chickens, like Kenny Troiano, could turn into a full-time living where you got a couple hundred people paying you every single month, right? Who would ever think those things? And so the first thing you have to do is create an inventory of all of your God-given talents, abilities, experiences, and everything that you've learned along the way. And the idea training will help you do that too. The next thing you have to do is look at all those ideas, right? And say, well, which ones of these are already making money in the marketplace? How do I know that it'll make money? That's a question that I get a lot. Well, you never know 100% for sure if you and your idea will go out in the marketplace and make money until you try. There is no other way. I wish I could just wave a magic wand and give you a magic spell and everything would work out fine. But no, until you say, I'm going to make this thing and I'm going to put it out into the world and I'm going to sit and watch it and see if somebody gives me money for it. That's the only way to know. Until you go, you'll never know, right? But success leaves clues. And the vetting your idea process inside of the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint will tell you exactly how to go out and see the marketplace in your niche to make sure that, hey, that's making money there. That's similar to what I want to do. This is making money here. I know for sure that takes a lot of time to create. So nobody would have done that unless they were making money. And here they're spending money to make money. Wow. That gives you a directional push, vetting your idea to make sure that it has an opportunity to make money out in the marketplace. And then we often find in this process, people who had no idea what they could do online will come up with 3 or 4 ideas, right? So then I take you through a decision-making process on which idea you're going to try first. See, everybody thinks they've got to go out and create they got one shot at this. They got to hit the home run. If they don't hit the home run, they're messed up, right? They think that, but that's not true. It's just it's just your first swing at bat. Right. And that's what choosing your idea is all about. It's about picking the idea that you think you're going to try first, that you have enough interest in, that you have enough passion about, that you have enough experience in, that there's enough clues in the marketplace that it could be good for you, and put your voice behind that. That's what choosing your idea is all about. And at that point, you're off to the races. Right. So that's what I would suggest for you, Christian, is to log into the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint. And I want you over the next 3 weeks, I want you to slow down. Stop thinking about if you're good enough. Stop thinking about if everything's going to line and the stars are going to be perfect. Stop thinking about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I get one shot at this. It's not true. I want you to slow down, and I want you to watch the idea training, and I want you to spend a week on it, thinking about it, writing ideas down, getting everything out there. Then the next week, I want you to say, you know what? Let's vet these 2 or 3 good ideas I came up with. And let's research it, and let's look into it, and let's get in the forums and ask questions about it, and let the rest of the community brainstorm with you. You're not alone anymore when you're inside the Flip Lifestyle community. That's the great thing about this program. It's the difference between it and everything else is we are here for you, and they are here for you. Our team is here for you. We've built this team to help people just like you, Christian, figure out their God-given talents and experiences and take their first shot at online business. That's how this company is built for people like you. And then this community was built and curated in a way to draw in family-focused entrepreneurs who are not only excited about their future, but who genuinely care about this community and other people's and desire to walk this path with others. They don't want to do it alone. They're sick of doing it alone. That's why we have the forums. That's why we have the Facebook group. That's why I show up right here on these Q&As. So you're not alone when you have to do this. So don't try to figure this out by yourself. Watch my trainings. I've helped thousands of people figure out their idea. Get in the forums. We've seen so many people, the first nugget of their idea appeared in the Flip Lifestyle community forums, and it turned into something life-changing and world-changing, right? And then get ready to go out and try a few things. Jump on the horse and to get knocked off over and over again until you stay on and start riding, son, right? That's what it's all about. So that's what I suggest you do. I suggest you take the next 3 weeks, you jump into the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, you get on that idea course, and you use the resources available to you to figure this out in the Flip Lifestyle community. And I believe, Christian, that we're going to hear in about 2 or 3 member calls a win from you that says, man, I didn't have an idea, and now I do. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to read it. All right. Ahmad says, I am an artist and an art teacher. I have a membership on painting, but it's been dormant. I wanted to know if I should open the membership site back up or create a membership site around art lesson plans for teachers like you did. So basically, this is a fork in the road, right? And we all reach these forks in the road all the time in our business. Should I do this or should I do that? The most recent fork in the road for me and Jocelyn was, I talked about this earlier today, was brought on by the coronavirus. Like, what's the way our life is structured now? We've lost a lot of our child care is not there anymore because of health concerns with our parents, and the people who used to watch our child are a little bit older, and the coronavirus, we don't want to make anybody sick. And, there's a lot of stuff happening with school, and we've become really overwhelmed with parenting and business. And, the work-life balance we had created got disrupted by no fault of our own. And we had a fork in the road, right? Like, do we keep fighting for the status quo, or do we step back and do something different, right? And that's it. Do you want to keep going down the same path, or do you want to do something different? Almost all choices are made that way, guys. And make no mistake, We all have choices, and we all make choices, and it is your choice. Anything you're doing in life today, you can stop doing tomorrow. It is your choice. And when we were faced with this choice, do we stay the same road or do we do something different? We had to ask ourselves a simple question. Which path is most heavy? And you don't want to walk the heavy path. You want to walk the lighter path. I didn't say you want to walk the light path. Life is hard, and all paths are heavy, but some are lighter and some are heavier. And you want to make those choices down the lighter roads if you can. So the choices that we made were, hey, what's lighter? You know what's heavy? You know what's heavy for Jocelyn? Having to keep up with all the stuff she used to keep up with and being on the podcast all the time. So the lighter path was different. It was me doing the interviews by myself and her doing intros so we could batch independently. And so that we could not be locked together in our calendar. Now, the best thing about that is our calendars can now live independently. So if I need to batch podcasts, she can take Isaac to basketball practice, or vice versa. If she needs to record intros, I can take Anna Joe to cheer. Like it unlocked our calendar, which better fit the new normal that we're all dealing with, okay? So that was the lighter path. It wasn't necessarily the path we wanted to choose. It wasn't better or worse. It was just lighter. So when you're looking at this, I think you should literally write them down on 2 pieces of paper and set them right or left. And I don't want you to pro and con it. I want you to look at them, and I want you to say, which is the lighter path, right? No path is easy, right? Life is heavy. There is no such thing as a light path, no matter how much internet gurus want you to think there is. But which one's the lighter path? If every time you come to the fork in the road, you can make a lighter path decision, it's going to add up to an easier path for you. It's going to be something you're going to stick with. It's going to be something not so overwhelming that you can control, right? And I would say that's what you want to do. So which one do you want to do, man? Which is lighter? Fire up the old membership or start something new? That's on you, but make the choice, commit to it, and keep moving forward. And that's going to keep you moving toward the goal that you really want. Madison says, I'm new here. Welcome, Madison. Everybody give her a big welcome. Somebody type welcome, and we're glad you're here. To Madison over in the chat box. I'm new here, and I'm trying to decide what's the best way to turn my expertise, I'm a freelance writer, into a product. Online course versus membership. I think we know what's going to win this one. Who's the right target audience? How to niche down and stand out. Okay. All right. So anytime you're starting an online business, we want you to start a membership. A membership has a course. The problem with a course is you have to charge a lot more to make any money, which makes it harder to sell. Once someone buys the product, they're gone. They're no longer in your circle, and you have to go find new customers next week. Course sales can be really, really inconsistent. They can be really, really, really high energy, way more high energy than you're probably even spending now on your freelance writer business. And when you get members, if you go get 100 people to pay you $50 a month, you make $60,000 a year, and they pay month after month and year after year. And you get 200 people paying $50 a month, Madison, and all of a sudden you have $120,000 a year. And you don't have to resell everything every month, and you don't have to make life hard, and you don't have to do all these big launches every quarter, and you just don't have to do all those things, right? It is a little slower out of the gate. It is a little more brick by brick, right? It's not as spectacular as sometimes courses can be. But the end result is peace and stability for your family, and not worrying about if one of those freelance clients is going to quit on you, right? If one of your members quits, you just go get 2 more. So the membership model is definitely what we recommend here, and it will serve you much better. Now, when you're trying to build a business around your expertise, you just need to teach people what you do. See, you are a freelance writer, and you may want something else, but there are a whole lot of people back on this spectrum behind you that they'd love to be a freelance writer. They would love to do what you do. They have no idea how to become a freelance writer. What's easy for you is really hard for them because they may be doing something else with their life, right? So to turn that into your expertise into a membership, you need 3 things. You need to take what you know, your expertise on how you became a freelance writer. Tell your story. How do you get clients? What places do you post your job postings? Where do you find jobs? What's your workflow during the week? Just document all the things you do and put that content into a member area in a nice curated way that people can find that for you. Now, you're not going to be able to teach everything you know. There's going to be nuance for everyone's individual business. That's why we have Q&As. We have Q&As like this where we can come and cover the things that you didn't originally put in your course, right? So you have a Q&A. You can host it on Zoom. You can host it on Facebook Live in a Facebook group. Doesn't matter. Just do that. And then you just provide leadership. You just guide the discussion. You motivate, you inspire people to keep taking your course, to get into your content, to come to member calls. Like right now, I'm like, guys, I got 7 questions and there's dozens of you here. Go post your question. What are you waiting for? You have access to someone who has created almost $5 million in revenue through memberships and has helped thousands of people. Why would you not ask a question right now? Don't be a lurker, right? Like I'm encouraging you, leadership. I'm trying to get you to participate. That's how you guide your community, is you just get them to keep going. So if you take all that and you go through the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, just get into the trainings, start at the top. It'll tell you exactly how to build it all out. Then you'll have a membership that people will want to join. I guarantee you people are searching right now how to be a freelance writer, right? Go solve that problem. Go answer that question. You don't have to be some PhD person. You just have to document your journey, document your process, answer all their questions, and people will trust you and keep paying. Also, connecting people together is a really big thing in the membership model. We see a lot of regulars here at the member calls. We have member calls happen all at different times in the Flip Lifestyle community. So sometimes they're at 1 p.m. We have a little cohort that comes for their lunch Q&As. Sometimes they're at 9 p.m. and we have our people who come in the evening, right? And some people come on Sundays. Some people come on Mondays. Some people, next week, I think we're going to do some on Tuesdays next month. So like there's lots of different times we move these calls around to give everybody a chance to attend, right? But they see each other. They know each other. They see the same people and they say, hi, Jill. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bill. Right? And they start to get to know each other. So creating that community is really important so that people feel attached to your product. But it's not, don't make it so overwhelming. Don't make it, something that you've got to like put tons of time and effort and energy into. Just give them the content they need to get started, answer their questions when they get stuck, and lead and motivate them when they get down or they want to give up. And you got a membership. And that will last you and become. I've seen lots of freelance type people create membership sites, Madison. And I know for you guys, sometimes it can be like unstable, always finding that next job, or a client quits unexpectedly or whatever. It's really cool when you see someone hit that 100 member, 200 member mark, and they see all that stability in their life. And I know you'll do it. So check that out, Madison. Go into the blueprint. Start at start where it says start. Do phase 1 first, then do 2, then do 3, and you'll be on your way before you know it. All right, our next question comes from Nanette. Nanette says, listening to the avatar module put me in a panic mode. Oh, no. What have we done? I know there is a need and lots of books on the subject in my area, but in the training module, you said fix a problem and not convincing them they have a problem. Our membership idea is management training. Focus on making happy and productive employees. How do we adjust our idea to our avatar or vice versa? Or is this something that happens organically as you start pulling yourself and your content out there? I guess the real question is, what answers are a must before you pull? No. I think you've misunderstood the idea training. This is the aspirin versus vitamin thing, right? But you're confusing the solution, right? Of course, you're going to have to convince them your solution is best. What you don't want to convince them is they have a problem, right? Or you don't want to attack something that's not a problem, right? Like, it's almost like winning more. Like, it's really hard to sell people win more. Like, if I already have a Bentley, it's hard to convince me to get a Rolls Royce. Like, I might want to trade something out, but that's like a need. I'm winning. Now I win more. That's not even a thing to convince people of. These people know they have a problem. Their employees are not doing their job. That's the problem. They are a manager trying to get their employees to do what they want, and they're not doing it. Your solution is that you believe your philosophy is that let us show you how to make your people happy, and then they'll be more productive. That you've always got to sell your solution. I know my problem I solve is people either need more money or they don't like their job. Those are the two problems that people have. My solution is to start a membership so that you can go get 100 people to pay $50 a month, make $60,000 a year, or you can just add that on to your revenue, or you can get 100, 200 to make you 120. Like, that's my solution. I always have to convince them of my solution. But the problem, like, for example, you would not want to go into happy managers whose employees are all perfect and convince them to make them happier, that would never sell. You would never sell a single one of those things because that's not a problem. But if you target like if your first line in your ad was managers, are your employees unproductive? Will they not get the job done for you? Well, we have a solution that will make them more productive and make it work. So don't confuse the problem with the solution. The solution always has to be sold. You have to sell them on your solution. What we don't want to convince people of is that they have a problem. They need to know they have a problem. They need to be in pain because of their problem before they come to us. People coming to us who already feel good might not feel any better. Like even vitamins are sold that way. Like, vitamin D is being sold right now as it will help you overcome COVID. So there is a problem that is COVID. The solution is vitamin D. So we sell the vitamin D. But if you just convince people, hey, you already feel great, but vitamin D will make you feel greater, no one's going to buy that. That doesn't make sense. So I hope that clears that up. In the idea training, it says we don't want to convince them they have a problem. We want to find a problem they already have. So these managers have a problem that their employees are unproductive. Your solution is your methods make their employees happy, which makes them more productive. So now you can go out and you can do that. Great question. All right, our next question is from Salima. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Salima says, my business is core and pelvic floor rehab for postpartum moms. Niche of the Week award goes to Salima. All right. Rehab for postpartum moms. But within that is a specific condition called diastasis. I'm going to go with that. Diastasis over here in Kentucky. That's diastasis. Diastasis. All right. I got it. Close enough. All right. Recti, R-E-C-T-I, which is abdominal separation after childbirth. Okay. You should have just said the parenthesis first, Slee, but give me the parenthesis first. Be like, yeah, I help them with abdominal separation after childbirth. Okay. I've got that one. All right. All right. Many women have this condition after childbirth and don't even know it. Should I position myself as a business around core rehab in general, or should I niche down even more and talk specifically about abdominal separation? Okay. So this is a question that's very common. It's about niching down. And in this case, I think that it wouldn't probably hurt from that because I would say that the market is huge. What's going to determine whether you niche down or not is the size of the market. So for anybody trying to figure out, how do I choose my niche or how do I niche down? Like that's the topic of this question, right? How do I choose a niche? The riches are in the niches, right? You have to look at the market size. When we were picking our markets in our first businesses, ushistoryteachers.com and elementarylibrarian.com, we had to look at the market size. And we said, hey, wait, could we target all teachers? There's a lot of teachers. Well, there's about 100,000 librarians. If we could just get 1,000 of those librarians, that's 1% of the market to pay us $49 a month. That'd be a lot of money. So maybe we should focus on that, right? So the market size was big enough. I would guess that the market size here would probably be pretty big. I mean, how many millions of people give birth every year and how many hundreds of thousands of those people every year are suffering from this abdominal separation, right? And if you have a program where you're like, in 7 months, how to fix abdominal separation in a year, or a lifetime of rehab help and support for abdominal separation if that's a permanent condition. Like those are easy ways to market stuff like that. So I would guess that the market there is big enough. And I think you would be in danger of going a little too broad if you went for all postpartum moms, every mom that's ever had a baby ever, right? I mean, but I don't think so. I think, and also too, you could start small and expand out, right? But I think what you're going to have to focus on, this is another danger here, because you just said something very interesting there. This is a condition that most women don't even know they have. So you've got to make sure you're not having the curse of knowledge here and talking too deeply about that topic. You have to focus all your marketing on the symptoms, right? Like that's why in the online business world, we focus on, do you hate your job? Is your boss mean? Are you not making enough money? Are you not seeing your kids enough? Do you not have any time freedom? Are you location independent? Like we focus on the symptoms. Like people know if their boss is a prick, right? People know if they're not making enough money and they've hit the floor in their business and there's no ceiling for them to bust through. So we focus a lot on symptoms. Sometimes you can say people to things like, I have a torn ACL. I know this. If I see an ad that says how to recover from a torn ACL, I know that I have a torn ACL. Like I had surgery about it. So you have to be really careful there when you're niching down like that to not go too much into the thing, especially if they're unaware of what's hurting. So maybe it's like, oh, do your hips hurt? Or I don't know where they hurt when they have diastasis recti. I don't know where you hurt when you say that, right? But like in general, like focus on the symptoms in a smaller niche like that. And you can expand later into other platforms. Like for example, our long-term vision for Flipped Lifestyle is not just to teach online business. Like Flipped Lifestyle is a philosophy, right? It's that work from anywhere, location independent, love your work, be able to be there for what matters most. And like that encompasses a lot of different things. Like, you can't just have, a good job that pays well and you like what you do. Like you also have to have a good marriage, and you also have to have, your parenting under control and your kids. And like, you also got to have, your finances under control, and you want to be as debt free as possible. And, like there's all these things that fall under Flipped Lifestyle that we eventually want to go into. Right now, we're laser focused on, we think the fastest way to people to get the chance at a Flipped Lifestyle is to control their income, love what they do, so they're happy when they leave work and they're having good relationships with people. So this the Flip Your Life community is all about starting, building, and growing an online business, right? Because it's working from home, working from anywhere. We've got team members right now hanging out with us today that are in New Orleans at a wedding. We're just everywhere. We're spread out all over the place. So like that's what part of the Flip Lifestyle is. But it's also about like, we think that we could eventually go into Flip Your Finances, and we could show people how to manage their money and do things like that. We could go into Flip Your Family, and we could have a marriage and parenting podcast. That doesn't mean I'm going to be hosting it. We might hire hosts, we might do other things, but we're going to expand out and have this big flipped lifestyle universe, right? Like that's the long-term vision for us. So we're starting where we are now in this niche of, we teach online business, we teach entrepreneurship, and we teach memberships. Specifically, we niche down even farther, but we have a big vision, and your vision could totally be Hannah's in New Orleans. She's in the chat room talking about it right now. But like, and she flipped her life, baby. But like, you could do the same thing. You could start in that smaller niche, talk about the symptoms, get people in and help them, and then expand out into other conditions as well. And that's usually the best way to grow. All right. Got an awesome, thanks for that question. That was an awesome question. And I'm going to say again, Salima, I think so you say your name, but I'm from Kentucky and I couldn't pronounce half the words in your question. So I hope you figured out what the answer was all about. All right. Our next question comes from Dana. Hi, Dana. Dana says, I'm just starting out. I can't seem to settle on one idea to pursue based on my loves, skills, and talents. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you a little advice, then I'm going to send you where to get more help. Okay. This is a very common problem. There's two problems with ideas. You can't come up with an idea, or you got too many, right? I'm the too many guy. I got too many ideas. My wife and my team swear about half won't kill me half the time because every Monday's an adventure and I got a new idea, right? So we've all got too many ideas, But when you have this problem where you can't decide which one to go down, Jocelyn and I usually rank them in this order. What are you most expert at? We always rank that one above passions, because we find that when people really get into something they're good at, it's a great start. And even if they don't go all the way down the rabbit hole and build a huge business around that idea, they're so confident with that thing they know the most about. They can create courses fast. They can create content fast. So you start learning how to be an online business owner. You start learning how to be consistent with your content. You start learning how to use social media. You figure out how to hook up your order forms and your pages and all those things. Okay. So that's usually the rank order is, what are you best at? What are you expert at? Like I was a football coach. That's what I did for a living. Jocelyn was the elementary librarian. That's what she did for a living. My second business was a U.S. history teacher's lesson plan site. I was a U.S. history teacher. I love history and I love to talk about it, but I wasn't passionate about it, but I was good at it. And I had a lot of resources and I knew it and I could teach it and I could make stuff fast, right? Speed is everything in the beginning. What can you work on and create the quickest? Okay. And then if that takes off, awesome. You got a great income stream that can support your next idea, which might be your love, which might be your passion. Or something like that, or maybe your calling in life. Okay. But build something now, pick one and understand that it's, unless you hit a home run, it's probably not going to be the idea that makes it. Like everybody tries 2 or 3 things. So you might as well try one first, learn the ropes, learn the basics. Then your second iteration will be faster and faster and quicker. And your third iteration, if you got to go that deep, was like, whoa, I can make this in a weekend. Like I can launch a business right now in 72 hours. You give me a Kajabi account and a good idea in 72 hours, I'll sell you something. Promise you, right? But it's only because I've done it so many times and I failed so many times at the beginning. And then we had a few things that did work later, right? Like our first 3 businesses were not passion projects. ElementaryLibrarian.com, USHistoryTeachers.com, CoachXO, my football coaching playbook site, right? But Flipped Lifestyle is our passion. It is our mission. Like my goal in life is to help as many people as possible flip their lives. Like, right? This is what we're passionate about now. So it led to those things, right? We have side projects that we love to work on as well. So just pick something. Pick the one that you're probably best at, right? That you can make stuff fast and you can move quickly so you can learn quickly, and see if you can make that take off over the next 3 to 6 months. You're going to be in good shape. Now, inside of the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint, if you log into the community tonight, and I believe it's phase 1, might be phase 2. Carrie, can you look real quick where the idea courses are? I have 3 idea courses. 1 is to help you choose your best idea. 2 is to help you research your idea to make sure it makes money. That's going to be really important. That's a good filter. And the 3rd one is actually how to pick when you have multiple ideas. I give you some strong tips and a checklist just to go straight through that, and you'll have it before you go. So log into the community night, watch that course. And if anybody else wants to check that out, go check that out inside of the Flipped Lifestyle community. Okay. Great question, Dana. Awesome stuff. You're not alone. Listen, sometimes these questions feel like it's only our problem, but I assure you, I've seen 100 people ask that same question. It's okay, right? And I've seen 100 people solve that problem, take their next step, and build amazing things because they took action. So you're going to get there. It's awesome. Our next question comes from Steven. Steven says, I've done a lot of cool things over the years. My passion is flying, but I've been self-employed for 21 years. High five. Became and stayed self-employed. Good job, Steven. Currently a general contractor, getting older, and I want to shift into less physically demanding sources of revenue. Not sure where to start or what kind of venue to pursue. So this is a question about ideas. This is kind of experience and wisdom versus knowledge and expertise versus passion and love, right? Now, I gave someone else some advice earlier on this call to focus on what you know. You could probably go down the mentorship route really, really easily. And you could talk about, teach a younger generation, like how do you become a general contractor? How do you stay self-employed for 21 years? Holy crap. You know how many people go out of business and don't stay employed for 21 years, bro? That's amazing, man. And, so like, I definitely think that's a good, solid route. If you feel confident in that and passionate about that enough, you don't have to love it. You just got to like it and then learn to love it, right? That would be a great start. You definitely have authority. Anyone who has not been a self-employed general contractor for 21 years can't touch you. You've been 20 years? It's 1 year less than me, bro. Right? So you're definitely going to have the chops to be able to go that route. Depending on your financial situation and what you actually want, if you actually fly aircraft, there's probably an avenue there where you could get people into flying who want to fly. I've always kind of been like curious about that. I don't know if I'd actually go down the rabbit hole and actually grab the wheel or what is it? It's a joystick. I don't even know what it's called. The throttle. I think there's a throttle in there somewhere. I don't know anything about flying, but it's curious and it'd be interesting. And I'd love to have a plane where I could just fly places. But like that, if you really feel like this point in your life, you're ready to turn the corner and be like, I'm just going to talk about what I love, then you could totally build a business around that. Maybe it's even, a combination of offline where you're teaching people how to fly and online where you've got a ton of awesome resources and you create a membership around people who love flying as well, as much as you do. Okay. So I would say, look at those 2 options and ask yourself where you are in life. This reminds me of a guy named Kevin Depew, who's in the Flipped Lifestyle community. He's one of our, I don't know if he's an original member, but he was one of the early members of the Flipped Lifestyle community. And he had started a website kind of based on his career. And it really wasn't going anywhere. We couldn't really get any traction. And he tried it for a few months. And you may love contracting and mentorship more than he loved what he was doing. And I asked him one day, man, and he's like you, he's like me, he's 40s, 50s, looking at the next half of our life and being like, what do I want to accomplish? What do I want to do? And I asked him that. Stephen says, yes, I own a plane. Then a lot of projects look cool. And, and Kevin came to me one day and was like, this ain't working, man. I just don't feel it. I'm just not feeling it. I said, well, what do you love to do? And he said, man, I love to relax and play guitar. And I said, and I remember I told him back, I said, hey, do you think other people of a certain age, he's an empty nester, late 40s, his kids were gone. And he's, so do you think other people like you would love to relax and learn guitar? Because you love to play it, and that'd be a good way to teach it. And he started his business, and he's almost got 200 members now of people who just hang out with him and play guitar. It's pretty awesome. And this seems to be like I don't know. It's hard to tell in the text and the chat, but I don't know, man. Maybe you explore the flying route first and see if it works. And we come up with some way to unite a community of other people who own planes and fly around you. And you lead the tribe. You lead the flying tribe. And when the aliens come, you can all fly your armada of planes at the aliens and stop them, because it's 2020 and we're not done yet. I think they're coming. I think that's the grand finale, man. Yeah, man, let's talk about that more. It's just love versus experience. If you want success fast and you want to make some money, it might be get into mentorship and teach people how to become general contractors. But if you love flying and you're ready for that next chapter in your life, bro, it ain't a bad choice. It'll all work. If you're consistent, prolific, and relentless, it will all work. We can find a way to make it work. But I think we lean toward the flying there, man. They're both great ideas. They're both great ideas. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, and nothing's permanent. If one doesn't work, you can try another one. All right. Our next question comes from Madison. Madison says, do you think it makes more sense to target people who want to become freelance writers or people who want to learn to write well to advance in their own careers? Okay. This is an interesting question. So I know from talking to Madison prior that she is a freelancer. That's her expertise. It's how she, I believe, makes her living right now, it sounds like, for sure. I always lean toward expertise and teaching people things you can document. Like I was a football coach, right? I didn't want to teach people who love to watch football how to understand the game of football better. No, I taught football coaches how to coach football like I coached football, because it was easier. It was faster. It was quicker. It required me to just document what I was already doing. I didn't have to do any extra work. I just had to write it down and make it look pretty, right? And so I always lean back and forth toward that. Now, another thing I hear, because I've coached so many people, Madison, is you still doubting your idea or doubting your abilities or doubting your expertise, and you're looking for branches. And this is sometimes a delay tactic that I see people do in the beginning of their journey, where they're trying to be, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? And they feel productive because they're wrestling with this idea. And that's what I feel here. I feel that, like, well, what about this? Would this be a better idea? Would that be a better idea? Shane, what do you think? I'm not a freelance writer. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I do know that you are a freelance writer and you have called this your expertise. So you believe you're an expert at it, and you should pursue it in as close to your natural environment as possible, right? And if you continue to try to find, if you're waiting to discover enough information that this is the right idea, or you're continuing to look for the right person to tell you it's the right idea, there's a good chance 2 years from now you'll be asking this exact same question, right? So no sugar. You should go teach freelance writers how to be freelance writers and do that for 6 months. And then if it's not working, pivot, because there is a chance it may not work. But everything right now is theory. Everything is hypothesis. Everything is you reaching for information right now. And this does not happen until it's done. Like, you do not know if an idea will work until you've got a website and you're creating content. Nobody will. Everybody listens to this. I know I'm talking to some other people in the choir right here. I'm preaching to the choir, guys. Listen, some of you are looking for me to tell you have the right idea. And, I know that's going to work. Yeah. Right. Some of you are looking for information and you're researchers and you're digging down Google every night going, I think this will work. I think this will work. What about this path? What about this path? But look, eventually you got to make a decision. And if you'll go watch, Madison, go watch In the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. Go watch, I think it's in phase 1. I think it's phase 1, course 3. It's choosing your idea, right? And I go through the process of biting the bullet and making the call and making it happen. And if Madison, if you have not watched the idea training, I don't want you to even think about anything else in your world right now except watching the idea training. And I want you to watch how I find and use my God-given talents to make money online. I want you to watch how I research to make sure that it can make money online. I want you to go and listen to how I make the choice on what to take action to. And I want you to go do it. And I want you to make this call, and I want you to make this decision. I'll tell you right now, I know millionaires who do both of those things. I know millionaires who make money in real estate. I know millionaires who make money in the stock market. I know millionaires who make money. I know people that make $100,000 a year teaching people how to shear sheep. I know people who teach people how to raise goats. I know people who teach people how to run their teams. I know people how to teach people how to make memberships. I know people that sell courses to teach people how to make memberships that make as much money as I do. Everything works. Everything works if you're committed and if you're all in and if you're going down the rabbit hole and if you're testing and improving. Like, everything works. I've seen very few ideas not work. I've seen a lot of execution fail. That's what I've seen fail. But almost every idea works. Like, if you can look out there and you can find one person who's making their living teaching other people how to become freelance writers, why wouldn't it work for you? It's just execution at that point. So I go watch those idea courses. Talk in the forums, ask some questions, and I would love to challenge you, Madison, to pick your idea by the next member call. I want you to walk in the next member call with your shoulders back, your chest out, and I want you to say, "Success! I doubled down on what I'm doing. I'm started building my website." Like, that's it. That's what I want you to do, because I don't want you to be here 4 years from now asking the same questions. Okay, you've got expertise. Turn that into an income online. Okay.
This question is from Claudia. She says, my sister and I are both new members and both teachers. Welcome. She's on her phone listening due to problems on her computer.
Yeah,
oh, no.
Happens here all the time.
We've had some computer issues too, so I feel your pain. Her question is whether her idea is strong or not. She wants to start a membership for teachers who want ideas on side hustles and how to manage doing one while still teaching. Mm-hmm. She's created a product on Teachers Pay Teachers for this and sold a few.
If you found one, you can find 101 or 1,001. There are 7 billion people on the planet, and I guarantee you that there's more than one person or a couple of people that would actually buy that product. You just have to find them. You have to define the avatar for the product. You have to figure out where the avatar is already hanging out, and then you have to go there and join the conversation that the avatar is already happening. I also know of people that do this. There's a lot of people that do this specifically for teachers. What is Brittany Long's website? Look up Brittany Long on Facebook. She's a Facebook group. She does something like this. If you want to watch the magician's hands and see somebody else doing it, she targets teachers.
And so, if you're selling it on Teachers Pay Teachers, people probably aren't really looking for things like that on there. So if you've sold a couple there,
that's a good sign.
I would think that's a really promising sign. Yeah, I would definitely kind of look into it. And now's a really great time to start talking about that sort of thing, because people aren't doing their normal school routine. It's the middle of the summer. People don't know what's going to happen.
That a lot of teachers are going to get furloughed and may need a side hustle because governments, the budgets are not going to make it. And when they see that if they only go back to school half time, they're not going to need all those teachers because you can teach infinitely a lot of kids online.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
So that's a strong idea. Any idea that sells is a strong idea. If you sell one, you can go find 101 people to give you $50 a month to make $60,000 a year, because people aren't just going to need a product to start a side hustle. They're going to need help. They're going to need coaching. They're going to need community. They're going to need each other. And that's exactly what a membership is supposed to be.
Okay, David and Jill says, we're getting ready to finally launch our business at the beginning of August. We'll be serving the homeschool market, and it should be a big time of year for getting new members. We don't have a big following on social media yet, so we don't have a huge audience to announce our launch to. What would you suggest for getting our name out there quickly so people can find out what we offer and join in? We thought about some Facebook ads and Google ads, but we know that doing a challenge is a good idea, but we're not super clear on how to do that or if it's the right idea for bringing in new people. We've watched all the training videos, but it's a little tricky applying it to our own situation. Thanks, David and Jill.
This is going to sound a little counterintuitive, okay? But if you are getting ready to launch your membership and you want to go get more people, what I want you to do is go back into the Flip Your Life community, and I want you to watch the avatar training again. And I want you to get really, really dialed in on who you're trying to target, right? I want you to forget about your product. I want you to forget about you. It's not about you and it's not about your product. It's all about your customer. It's all about your customer, okay? So go back in and look at the avatar training, and I want you to redefine the avatar and make sure you're crystal clear. And then I want you to go and look for all the places that they're hanging out on Facebook. And I want you to find out who they're already following. I want you to go and see what podcasts they're already listening to, what blogs they're already reading, what email lists they're already subscribing to. Like, what are they already consuming, right? And then target all of your energy, like in your ad budgets and things like that, toward those places so that you don't waste any money, right? Because you said you wanted to run some Facebook ads, right? Some Google ads. But like, go get crystal clear on your avatar, figure out where they're at, and make sure it's the right person, right? Because you can mess this up. Make sure it's the right person, and then go and find them on where they're hanging out online. That's who you're going to target for your Facebook ads. And that should give you a lot of bang for your buck, like in your paid advertising. Now, the challenge thing is a good idea. I love challenges. We've never used challenges a lot for Flipped Lifestyle. Jocelyn used to do them more with Elementary Librarian, but we are going to be doing some challenges upcoming. That's going to be one of our new strategies. We are actually going to get away from some of the live webinars and some of the live launches and some of the real in the moment time consuming things, because we've got a lot of people on our staff that can help us create other things, and we want to do like more challenges and things like that where we can really get involved and get people into the door. So I do think challenges are a good idea, but I just learned this from a book I was reading earlier talking about the value of the customer avatar and the value of knowing exactly where the right person is hanging out, not the biggest person in your space. Sometimes you can target the biggest person in your space and they've got all the wrong people following them. Right? So you don't want to just go blanket stuff. You want to go figure out where your people already are and target them very specifically on Facebook so that you can get the right people in. In the beginning, you want quality over quantity. When we launched our very first membership, we had 250 people on an email list, but they were all the exact perfect avatar, right? Right age, teaching the right subject, doing everything perfectly. So a small, high-quality list is infinitely more valuable than just a big list of a bunch of people and getting a bunch of rattling attention and all this stuff in the beginning. But the only way to get the quality people is to know your avatar. Like Jocelyn knew her avatar was this kind of librarian with this many years experience, was this, that, and the other, and she went after those people, right? So get clear on your avatar, make sure you're building a high quality list in the beginning, and that's how you turn. We've seen people with 100 people on an email list get 50 members out of the gate. So like if you get the right people on there, you're going to have a lot better chance of being successful out of the thing. Didn't you run a challenge one time with Elementary Librarian? Like, didn't you do a challenge? Like it was like a books challenge or some kind of challenges for your librarians or something. That was so long ago. I don't even remember.
It's been a long time, probably.
Yeah. So I'll give you some more data on the challenges when we get done with them. But if you do that, go watch the avatar training and go find 10 places on Facebook or on the internet where you're finding those people, and really focus all your energy there out of the gate, and you're going to get a high quality list that you can get some members out of.
All right. We have a success story from Judy. Judy says, I set up my first $1 trial today. I sent it to my 40-person list and got one new member for a total of 3. Yep. Good work, Judy. That's awesome.
Connie Stewart says, thoughts on creating a small membership for parents of adolescents. I was thinking of creating a support book for parents and a more abbreviated version of the book for adolescents. Along the way, I could curate topics that would be helpful to parents of this age group. Forgive me if this is not the place to ask. It's always the place to ask. That's what we're here for, Connie. I was just able to join a few weeks ago since the company came late. I need a door. Okay. All right. So basically, the question is here, is this a good idea? Right? So let me guide you through the process to determine if it's a good idea, and then I want you to go watch the idea course. Okay. I think it's a great idea. I think this is a huge market. There's people there. I would not try to give things for their kids and them. Are you going to help the parent or are you going to help the kid? I would help the parent because parents have wallets and money and kids don't. Okay. If you want to give some worksheets or something through the parent book, that's fine. So that's the only idea thing that I would come up with. The next thing is you have to make sure that people are looking for this. So you need to go do keyword research, or you need to go and make sure people have actually created content around this topic. The best way to do that is to go to Amazon and see if anybody's written a book about this. Has anyone written a book about parenting adolescents in the area you want to talk about? If that's true, that means someone decided to put the effort in to sell something to a group of people that already exist, which means you can go market to that same group. And competition is a good thing because that means there is a pie. I just need a piece of the pie, right? So, yeah, I think it's a great idea. If you're passionate about it and you're interested in it, go down that rabbit hole. And also log into the community. It says you just joined the Flip Your Life community. Go to phase 1 and watch the idea trainings. There's 3 videos. The first one is going to tell you how to research or how to come up with your idea and crystallize it. The second course is going to teach you exactly how to research your idea and go out and make sure that it can make money online, right? Someone's making money with it already. That means you can. And then the third one is actually an entire course on choosing your idea. And then in the idea trainings, there's also a bonus to help you do keyword research so you can understand exactly how people are searching for that idea. So go check that out over in the Flip Your Life community. And it's all in the new blueprint area. All right, Sean says, question, I'm working on narrowing down my avatar. I posted in the Flip Your Life forums. If you're not over there yet, get over there. Shameless plug. I'm wondering if I'm narrow enough. My target statement is, I help entrepreneurs and small business owners get unstuck so that they can solve more problems and make more money. Okay. It's more complex than that because I'm actually teaching them how to rethink about creativity, but their pain point is getting unstuck. Okay. Unstuck doing what? Like, I mean, we all feel unstuck. Like, I think the "so that" is correct there, Sean. So what Sean created here is a story brand "so that" statement. If you've not read that book, Story Brand by Donald Miller, great book, awesome book. It is one of the few books that gets to sit on that table. All the other ones go over there in the closet. But that's the Story Brand sits right there. Those are the most important books I read that I've ever read in my journey. I like to look at them to remind me every day that I put time into reading them and I need to take advantage of the sum of the knowledge in those books. Every time I walk in my office, it's the first thing I see is an open Bible and the most important books I've ever read in my journey. I have no excuse. Everything I need is right there to give my family a good life. That's what I got to do. All right. And but this is a "so that" statement from that book. And it's basically like, what do you do so that your people can get a result? Everybody needs a "so that" statement. So you can actually understand what you're doing. So what you're helping small business owners get unstuck, but I think you're going to have to figure out unstuck doing what. There's a lot of places you could get stuck. Are they stuck in work-life balance? Are they stuck in their finances? Are they stuck in understanding cost of doing business? Are they stuck with payroll? Are they stuck with what are they unstuck? Right? I mean, this seems personal development more than, there seems to be some personal development thing here going on. I just think you have to narrow, but I think even the personal development guys would narrow it down. Like, think about Brendan Bouchard. He's about as wide and open as you could get. He's a really important influencer for personal development, but like his thing is he helps people create new habits. So I'm almost thinking like, maybe you don't need to say you help them get unstuck. Maybe you say you help them, rethink. I help entrepreneurs and small business owners rethink something so that they can solve more problems, or rethink their creativity so that they can solve more problems. Because at least then I would be like, hey, if I could be more creative, I think I could come up with better solutions, right? Like, that's a thing. Like right now, when you get plateaued or you get stuck, it's almost like writer's block. Like, your creativity's dead and you just can't figure out how to work your way out of the box, right? And maybe you wrote down exactly what you need to do. Like, you help people rethink their creativity, right? So that they can get unstuck, solve their problems, and make more money, right? And I'm not even sure. I mean, you're trying to make this like sentence too long. Like, do you help me solve problems and make more money? Like, or just solve problems so that I can make more money? Or maybe it's maybe you help entrepreneurs rethink their creativity to solve more problems so they can make more money. Like, there's something there in the words you've already written. You're close, but I think you've got to tell me what you do, right? Like, getting unstuck is too broad. It's just too broad. Get unstuck doing what? Like, I'm gonna glance over that in a Facebook ad. But if my creativity is dead and I'm like, man, if I could just figure out a way to be more creative, I get my creativity back. Like I was really creative in the beginning, but now I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. Maybe, this guy helps me be more creative. That sounds interesting. Let's go down that rabbit hole, right? Then you can start focusing on those as well. But I think you're too broad. Like what you're basically saying here is, I help you have no problems and make more money. Oh, you don't. It's like our pitch is our big pitch is flipped lifestyle. Like we want to help you have total control of your time. We want to have you create your own income so that you can choose how you spend your days on this earth with your family. Like that's really what we do. That's what we're trying to get everybody to. But that's not what we do. We help you start an online business based on memberships so that you can create an income and change your family's future. Like, so I'm telling you exactly how we're going to do this up front, right? Like if you don't like that, you know what I mean? Like go do something else. But like, this is how we're going to do it. And I think you've got to figure out how to tell people what you're going to do. All right. And I threw a GIT in there, GIT, for all y'all keeping score on the, Southern redneck bingo card tonight. All right. Great question, Sean. Awesome stuff. Let me hit answer there. And then I want to celebrate another awesome success story. Our next success story comes from Robert. Robert says, I made about $3,000 in sales last month on eBay to be able to pour it into investing in my membership site, especially in ads this month. Sacrificing the things you don't need to get the things that you want. That is what I'm talking about, Robert. That is amazing. That is awesome. What an awesome, awesome story. I love it when people say, I'm willing to give up the good to get the great. Give Robert a standing ovation. I'm sure he got rid of a few things in his house that he probably was like, oh, I love that thing, but you know what? I love my family's future more, and I'm going to do that. As many of you know, when Jocelyn and I started out, we were poor school teachers in Southeast Kentucky. Like we were living paycheck to paycheck. We got paid on Friday and it ran out on Thursday. I don't know how many times I've told people that. We had no money when we started. Zero, zilch. But you know what we did have? A driveway. And at the end of the driveway, we had yard sales. And we did that week after week until everything in the house started disappearing. And I gave up things that I had kept with me for years that I loved, things I couldn't replace, so that I could go out and invest it in courses or trainings or ads or something to give my family a better future. We sold our house. We had a brand new, awesome house. It was a great neighborhood, and we sold our house and we moved into a smaller house that was built in the 30s and remodeled in the 70s. We did all what we have now is because of what we gave up then. And that then for you may be right now. You got to give up the good if you're ever going to get the great. And Robert did that. And that's awesome. Awesome stuff, man. Great decision. You'll never regret it. That investment's going to pay off over and over and over again. And if you do go out and have a yard sale, make sure you're wearing masks because you don't know who's going to show up. Okay. Next question comes from John. Hey, John, how you doing? John says, I'm having trouble deciding on a subject or service for my membership website. I need help focusing on something that will be easy for me to do and be interesting to others. That's an amazing quote. When you're stuck in the beginning of your journey, John, and you're trying to figure out like what you can do to build a membership around, there's a couple places that you can kind of look for. A lot of people will say, chase your passions, do the things you love, right? And, and that's fine. Sometimes that works. That's good. But I prefer to fall back on knowledge and wisdom. You, like me and like everybody else listening to my voice right now, you've got a wealth of life experience. You've done things, you've learned skills, you've gained wisdom through your trials and tribulations and failures. And all of those lessons, all of those skills, all of those things that you have learned, you can use. You can reach back and help someone who's behind you one step in the journey. And you can help them with that. And you have knowledge and wisdom that other people don't have that you can help them with. I think of a story when I was getting ready to have our daughter, Anna Jo. My first child was my son, Isaac. And, I'm one of 5 brothers. I grew up in a house full of dudes. So that's why I'm so like blunt and rough, I guess, all the time. And I remember when Anna Jo was born, it was the first girl that had been born in like 20 something years into our family. Like it was crazy. Like, no, I didn't know what to do. So I remember I was telling my dad one day, I was like, man, I can't believe I'm going to have a girl, Dad. This is crazy, man. Like we might have to lean on Jocelyn a lot. And I just don't know what, I don't even know how to act. I didn't even have a sister. I don't even remember having many girl cousins. I have like 1 or 2. And like, I remember my dad looked at me and he goes, You're going to have to go ask your father-in-law, son, because I have no idea. I can't help you on this one. And it was the first time my dad didn't have an answer. He didn't have advice. He didn't have the wisdom to pass down through the ages. And it really hit me, man. So, I did. I leaned on my dad. My father-in-law was a great guy, and he raised 2 daughters and for that information. And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for someone who has been there and done that and been through it and can help them avoid some of the mistakes, right? So I would say right now, John, you need to get a Post-it note out pad, grab you a Post-it note pad, and just one Post-it note at a time. I want you to write down those skills, that wisdom, those experiences, and don't let anything out. I mean, if you can play guitar, write it down. Right? If you've raised sons, write it down. If you are an engineer, if you're a computer science person, if you're whatever, write it down. What do you do for a living? What are things you do like, right? That you are good at that make you feel like you're in flow, right? These are things that are not heavy. Like if you hate your job, that doesn't need to be one of these things, right? Or if you have a skill but you hate it, that doesn't. What are these things that are easy for you, that flow, that you don't have to love it, but you need to enjoy it. It's okay, right? You need to write all those things down. And then I want you to go in the Flipped Lifestyle community. We have a course called Vetting and Researching Your Idea. Okay. It's in phase, I believe it's phase 1. And I think it's the second course. And if you'll go in there and watch that, it will help you find an idea, take your ideas, research them, and it will show you the ones that are already making money online so that you can make an informed decision of what you want to try first, right? You need to pick something and do it and learn the skill of online business. How do you set up your website? How do you set up your membership? And even if don't think the first idea has to be a home run. It just has to be the first one you swing. Right? Go in there, research it, make an educated guess, and try something. If you don't like it, you can change it. You can go try another idea. That's the cool thing about online business. When we have an idea, we buy a domain and we buy Kajabi and we set up a website and we see if it works. And you can do the exact same thing. But you need a place to start. Focus on your skills, your knowledge, your wisdom, your God-given talents and abilities. Go watch that course that'll show you exactly how to research it to be like, hey, success leaves clues. There's people making money off of a similar idea. I'm going to go do it my way. I'm going to launch it, and it's going to maybe work for me too. Our next question comes from Stephanie. Stephanie says, I've been somewhat stuck with my idea. I'm doing the steps accordingly, but I don't feel like I can go any farther without having a clear, concise idea, which is helping women through restoration of life issues, etc. I was thinking of Beauty for Ashes based on Isaiah 61. Wasn't sure if it's more of a ministry idea. Thanks for your help. Okay. Your problem is you're too broad. I can see this right now. Like, okay, restoration of life issues. What does that mean? Like I could say, I will help you make money. That could be my niche. That's what I do. I help people make money. No, I help you start online businesses. Specifically, I help you start membership websites based on content. I help you start podcasts and YouTube channels. I help you start blogs. I help you email your list, and I help you get members. That's the specific kind of money that I help make people. It's so concise. Like I'm here to help people get 100 people to pay them $50 a month, make 60 grand a year, or get 200 to pay them 120. Like that's what I'm here for. I'm here to do that. That's my specific niche. You're probably going to have to zero in on a life issue. Like we have people in our community who help people who have, like we've got one lady named Robin. She's incredible. She's got a website where her community, she helps people or women who have recovered from breast cancer and have survived and are in remission build their life back. That's a very similar niche to this, but look how specific it is. Like there's a lot of life issues, right? Like if I see I help you with life issues, and I'm not picking on you, everybody does this, you go too broad, then I'm going to be like, what life issues? And if I don't hear my life issue, the first sentence, I'm out. I'm trying to find the person because I'm an alcoholic. I'm trying to find the person because I have no money. I'm trying to help the person that's going to help me buy a house or get into real estate or like something like that. So you've got to niche down. You got to be specific. When you do the exercise in the idea training video where you lay those Post-it notes out, they should be laser specific. You know, I don't sell chips. I sell nacho Doritos. Right? Like that's how niche down you've got to get when you're starting out. You can broaden out later. Like there's parts of me that sees a path in our business after doing this for like 6 years, 7 years now, where we could totally go online business. We could have an e-commerce course. We could have an Amazon course. I could totally build that out with other instructors and things like that. So I can go broad later, but no you see 7 years in, what are we still preaching? Hyper specific niche. So if you're struggling with your idea, you're too broad. You don't know who you serve exactly, right? Women with life issues. What does that mean? Is that women who have had divorce? Does that mean women who have experienced domestic violence? Does that mean women who are alcoholics? Does that mean women who have survived cancer? Does that mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, you've got to go down into that. Like, what are you, Stephanie, best equipped to talk to, period? Like, what is the biggest life issue that you have overcome, that you have found beauty from the ashes? That's where you start. And you go find 100 people that are looking for beauty from the ashes about that exact specific issue. And once you have that issue, then you can expand out and have a second or third issue. Then you can expand out and have a fourth or a fifth. But you can't start at fourth or fifth, y'all. That ain't gonna work. You got to start at one. And when you take the idea masterclass, it should narrow it down to at least one thing that you can try first. So going too broad will get you stuck. That's why you're stuck. So you need to narrow that down, find your niche, and you will be off to the races.
All right, Kristen, it says you are having major doubt about your idea. Tell me about that.
It's just thinking about it and trying to put everything together. I've been trying to like write things, but it's like my doubt is doubt and fear together, trying to figure out, is it really something that people will purchase? Is it something that people will want to buy from me? Like, how do I go about, I think Ray mentioned it, adding value to it so it interests people and gets people going. Like, it's all of that. It's just a whole bunch of questions in my head. And
tell everybody concisely what your idea is real quick.
Oh, my idea is an event planning hub where people can go and they can learn different parties. So right now, the one I'm working on right now, the one I'm focusing on is birthday parties. Sure. Like the budget for a birthday party, the location, like how do you the location, like I put 8 steps together on how to throw a proper birthday party. You can make it as lavish as you want or as low key as you want. Do you do you go get a venue, or do you do at your house? What's the up? What's the down? So it's stuff like that. And then what I want to do now, I want to do birthday party, and then I want to do a wedding, and then I want to do a Christmas, and I want to do, and down the line.
And we had talked about this at the event. We had talked about, it was like helping people learn how to become an event planner so they could go out and get hired and make money about being an event planner, right? It's not just a resource for people, because that's where the real value is. It's like your niche is actually what we call business in a box niche, right? It's like, it's a way for you to teach people how, because we have a lot of people that do this in the community. Like, we have multiple people that teach people how to become photographers and make money doing weddings and things like that. So here's the answer. When you say, is this something someone would want, right? Well, are there people that want to be event planners? Yes. Yeah. Do those event players want to make money? Yes. Right? So the answer is yes. It's just a matter of, will they want the way you teach it? Right? But that goes back to 2 questions. Number 1, you have people that know you and like you in real life. So it's just your personality will drive the brand, right? So you have a great personality. You have an awesome mission. You have an awesome goal. So you're going to do that. That's fine. And then the only way to answer the second question is, will people pay money for it, is to open the door and see. Like, the market has to respond. And like the analogy I use when people say this, and trust me, listen, everybody fears this. I fear it still. This fear, like when I'm walking out on a new city, on a new stage, this still comes to me. Every time I walk into a room, I'm like, is this room going to like us? Is this room going to want to do what we're telling them to do? Is this room going to be okay? Like, this is it's kind of like, it's a part of the journey, right? So you're not the only one feeling this, but like, it's like the analogy is like, if I can stand at half court and I think to myself, will this shot go in the basket if I shoot it from here? I can't just walk away with the ball and never try and see if it works. Like, the only way to know is to let the ball go, right? And then you'll know, did it go in? Did it not? Was it left? Was it right? Do I need to adjust? So you just all you have to do right now is trust your talent, trust your idea, and go do the courses in order and just do the next thing. You're thinking ahead to phase 7. Will anyone buy this? Well, we won't know until we get there. So we've got to back up and we got to say, okay, you've done the idea trainings. You know where they are. We did them live in the room. And right now you're just going to product and saying, well, what does the product need to look like? And then the next step will be put the product in the website. And then the next page. Yeah. If you want to go through part of the idea course again, go through the choose your idea course. That's really about cementing, I'm doing this. I'm going forward with this one thing. And then jump onto product in phase 2 and you'll be fine. You know, embrace that fear that it's fine. We won't know until we try to sell it. That's the only way you're ever going to really know it for sure. So don't try to figure it out. It'll drive you crazy. It's a guess. It's a guess at this point.
All right. Our next question comes from an anonymous attendee, super secret anonymous attendee. The anonymous attendee says, I feel like I'm using someone else's idea because so many people are doing the same or similar things when it comes to my idea. How can I make it my own? Okay, this is a great question. You know, it comes up a lot. Like, is my market too saturated? That's how some people will say this question. Or I feel like everybody else is doing it. Is there room for me in the marketplace? And I always point back to Shane and Jocelyn on this one because, listen, everybody's trying to do what we do. There's a lot of people out there trying to help you make money online, make money from home. You know, there's a lot of contenders. There's a lot of pretenders. And there's a lot of people that have no business telling anybody anything because they're just enders. They end dreams because they don't know what they're talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, then there's people out there like us who are bona fide successful entrepreneurs, built multiple 6-figure businesses and go out there, right? So, but you don't even have to rely on expertise, energy, anything like that. You have your idea. You clearly think you've got expertise in this. You can solve a problem. You've got an avatar mind that you can help other people. But you might look out there and get intimidated because you're like, oh, they're doing it and they're doing it and they're doing it. So that's your problem. It's not about what everybody else is doing. It's about where you're looking. Why are you looking at them? Why are you looking out at what other people are doing right now? You got to look in the mirror and do you, because you're the difference maker. Your situation is different than all those other people, how you got into this space. Your story is different. I know it is. If you go into the storytelling course and learn how to tell your story, you'll be able to put your story out there and your story will sell it for you, right? What you serve might be similar, but how you do it is going to be completely different. You know, when I first looked out, when we were going to start Flip Lifestyle, I started looking around and going, oh no, all these other podcasters, they sound so fancy. These people sound fancy. They're from New York. They're from Los Angeles, California. They're from San Diego. They're from all these other places where they talk fancy. And I'm like, Jocelyn, who's going to listen to us? We're just a couple yeehaws from Kentucky saying y'all a lot, right? And we looked at each other and we said, yeah, but that's what makes us different. It's why every Flip Lifestyle podcast starts with, hey, y'all. It's why if you look behind me on the YouTube channel or the Q&A or the whatever the video is right now, you're going to see, hey, y'all written behind me. You got to embrace you. You're the difference. You are the difference. You're worthy of being the difference. Your story makes you different. Your personality makes you different. The way you will organize and orchestrate your content and your courses is the difference maker. And someone out there, you have to think, whenever you look at someone else and go, man, they're doing my idea. They're doing this. Are they doing that better than me? Are they doing that better than me? I guarantee you there's someone who found that same website you did, who is looking for a solution to their problem. And they're looking at that person going, yeah, this ain't my vibe. This isn't for me. I'm sure that would solve my problem, but I just can't get on board with this because we're all different, right? So you know what they do? They go back to Google and they're looking for you and the way you do your content and the way you solve the problem. But the problem right now is that person is alone because they can't find you because you're too afraid to launch your product because you're looking at everybody else. So quit doing that. Put your stuff out there. Go see what the world has for you. The market will tell you eventually if it's going to work or it's not, but you got to put yourself out there and you got to focus on yourself in the beginning. Don't look at other people. Comparison is the thief of joy. We've got Mr. Pierce in the house tonight asking me a question. It says, hi, Captain and Shane. That's okay. I see what you did there. All right. The question of the hour for me is, shall I do 2 memberships? Uh-oh. Oh, I can feel the no sugar forming in my brain right now, actually, on this one. All right. I've got the skills and the resources. I want to, but you have the power to say, don't be an idiot. I have one interest topic and a passion topic. The interest is where the money is. For 30 years, I've been teaching sales, speeches, books, and big ticket online courses. I'll be running my membership for the sales and business program, Colin Pierce Academy. It's all mapped out and nearly launchable. I need the money it will generate. My passion topic is storytelling, and I am going to run a Storytelling Works membership. I've been a storyteller for decades with TV shows and books and appearances, just never found the way to make a decent buck off of it until I ran into you and Jocelyn. And until I ran into Jocelyn and the big old football coach there. Different audience from Colin Pierce Academy, different mark. Is it? Lower price, different content, a couple months ready to go. So, okay. So there's a couple caveats here. I'll go into each one of them. One, I usually don't recommend anybody try to launch 2 memberships at the same time. We're a big believer in ABC around here. You got to finish A before you get to go to B, and then you get to go to C, right? So basically over a year timeline, you might say, I'm going to do both, but I'm going to do A first, and then I'm going to do B second. Okay. So the answer is not no. It's just more not yet, unless you have a really big team. If you've got a team and you're delegating everything and you can make sure they're doing it, then by all means, you can work on multiple things. Our team right now is doing multiple things. We're creating back to school sales funnels for U.S. history teachers in our education company. And then we are also working on affiliate launches and whatever wild hair I come up with on Mondays at our meetings. So that's what we're doing right now. So we're working on a lot of different things, but there's 200, 300 hours of capacity built into our team right now. So we can do that. So I would be very careful unless you have a team. If you're going at this alone, I would say do the one that makes the money first and do the one you love second, right? Live like no one else, so later you get to live like no one else. Do what do the thing that will make the money first, because money will make the mission possible down the road, right? Money is the tool. Money is the mission. You have to have money to make these things work, guys. We can get all philanthropists up in here later on when we got a bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you're focusing on the money first. So I personally, if I was you, would go down the money route, get the sales stuff going. But I think there's still, why don't you just combine this? I mean, I'm sure sales has a lot of storytelling in it, right? Like Donald Miller of Story Brand, that's what he does, is he teaches you how to use stories to sell, right? So I'm not sure if they're as unrelated as you think, right? I think there's a way to weave the storytelling component, your passion, into the thing you're really good at, which is the sales. But I'll close it up by saying this. I think you should do both, but I think you should do one really, really well first. And once that one's going really, really well and it's creating enough money to hire the people you need, do the second one. But try not to do 2 things at once. We've done it in the past. It's always a mistake. That doesn't mean you can't run 2 things at once, but it's usually not a good idea. Okay.
All right. This question is from Dan. I'm thinking of changing the name of my semi-monthly call program, which I'm launching shortly, from Boardroom to Mastermind. I think birth pros are turned off by the word boardroom. So my question to Dan, I actually typed this in the chat, was what makes you think that they are turned off by it? Has someone mentioned this?
So what is it again now? I'm confused.
He's wanting to know if he should change the name from the Birth Pro Boardroom or whatever it is to the Mastermind.
I don't know if they would know what Mastermind means, because most people don't. It's like webinar. Like some people don't even know what that is.
Why don't you go to your audience and say,
hey,
ask
them, man.
I have this idea for a name. I was also thinking about Mastermind. What do you think a good name would be?
Yeah, ask the people. Yeah, that's a good idea, because you've got paying clients, Dan. So why not ask the X number of people that have actually bought your product? Hey, do you like the name? What would you call this product? Have a couple open-ended ones, and then maybe come up with 5 new names and send out a little poll, and then kind of think about it, right? I would never assume that someone likes or that does not like something, especially if one person complains. Like Jocelyn gets mad at me sometimes, because sometimes we'll have.
No, I'm with you. I'm like, 1 or 2 people will complain about something, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the worst thing ever.
We need to change everything, right? But I'm always like, is this really a problem? Is this really a problem? Like, we have, if we've got 1,000 people and 6 of them emailed us, is this really a problem? So
and to me, if more than one person said something, it's
right. 2 people, that's a trend, right? So ask yourself, is this really a problem? But if you want to change it, change it. I mean, don't worry about that. It's not going to hurt anything. But like, I think
I would
the name's
ask
fine.
them for sure and just say, does this make sense to you? Do you think that this is a negative thing in any way to use the word boardroom? Like, just ask them some honest questions. Like, people are usually pretty happy to give you their feedback on something like that.
All right, next question is coming from an anonymous attendee. You anonymous attendees out there, when you register into these Zoom calls. All right, anonymous attendee says, I have an idea for my business, but I feel my idea is oversaturated by people who know more than me. Should I change my idea or move forward? That is an assumption that is totally wrong. It is your idea is never oversaturated. There may be people in your space that know more than you, but that's not why people join memberships. There are plenty of people who know way more than me and Jocelyn about online business. I bet has to be, right? There's always a bigger fish. I don't care how big the fish gets. So there are people that know more than us. But the reason you're here is probably because you like us. Probably because we have enough of the information you need to get to your next level. And you enjoy our community. You enjoy the people that we're hanging out with right now on this member call. You enjoy the people that we hang out with in the Flip Your Life community. You love the guests that come on the Flip Lifestyle podcast every week. And that's why you're here, even though we are in an extremely saturated market, making money online. Everybody's trying to do that, right? And there's probably people smarter than us, but you're here. You bought it, right? I bet there's probably a scholar from Harvard in history that wrote a better textbook, right, than I did. But you know what? I bet I'm making more money than the professor at Harvard because I made an awesome curriculum that I sell to U.S. history teachers all over the country. If nobody cares if it's the best. Who wrote this? Who wrote these lesson plans for U.S. history teachers? Was this that scholar from Harvard that knows everything about it? They don't care. They care that it does what they say it says it does, and it gets them a result, and that they don't ever have to plan a lesson plan again, right? So it's a lie, one, that there's an oversaturated market. You only need 100 people to pay you $50 a month to make $60,000 a year. There's 5 billion people connected to the internet. They're putting satellites in space right now to give free internet to the other 4 billion people on the planet. You ain't going to run out of people, right? There's no such thing as an oversaturated market. You only need 100 people, pay you $50 a month to make $60,000 a year. And your personality, your style, the way you create your products is what actually builds a community around that of like-minded people. Right? So no, your idea is not oversaturated. And yes, people probably do know more than you. When I launched my first product, it was a playbook for football coaches. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my football career if you don't know anything about my background. I coached college football. I coached at a couple big high schools and was an assistant on the freshman team and stuff. So I saw some success early in my career as an assistant or as a graduate assistant. And then I was a head coach. In my first year as a head coach, I went 0-10. I lost every game, and we didn't just lose, people. We got beat 60-0. We got running clocked in the first half, 8 out of 10 games. That's how I kicked off my head football coaching career. Now, if you can't tell, I was no Bill Belichick or Nick Saban. I was not out there winning Super Bowls with Tom Brady. I was getting my face kicked in every single week. Okay. And then the second year, we won 2 games, but one of them was because the team forfeited. We actually won 1 game, right? So we were 2-8, okay? And then, I went to another school as a defensive coordinator. We were 3-something, I think, one year. We were 5-5 one year. And then we turned the corner and we started 6-5, 7-3, 8-2, making the playoffs, right? That was my journey. But I'd never been to a state championship. I'd never dominated anybody. There were infinitely more people in the space that knew more than me. But my style of defense, the defense that I created for high school football, my personality in my videos, the way I talk, I was accessible. Like, you can't go talk to Bill Belichick, the head coach of the Patriots, but you can go talk to Shane Sams, the head coach or defensive coordinator of that county school next door. You know what I'm saying? So even though it was a saturated market, even though there was a lot of people in the market, even though a lot of people knew more than me, I made thousands of dollars selling playbooks to coaches who wanted to talk to somebody, who needed someone that had been there and done that and was just a little ahead of them, right? I think Russell Brunson says it like this: if you're one chapter ahead of somebody, you can always look back and tell people what's coming, right? So I would guess that you need to focus on your personality. You need to focus on how you teach the thing. You need to teach about your delivery and think about your, what makes you the authentic person that you are. and you need to go into that market because I've never seen one yet where the market was saturated or I wasn't expert enough to teach it, right? There's always people behind you. Jocelyn, when she launched Elementary Librarian, she had only been a librarian. She was going into her 3rd year. Now, she didn't even go to school for that. She went to school for business, and then she went to graduate school to become a librarian. She had just got out of school and only been a teacher for a couple years, and she built $1 million business. She exited a website for $1 million, over $1 million, and she was only in an elementary librarian for 3 years. Like all those people who were 27 years in had more experience than her, but it didn't matter because she did it and she made it and she created it and she put herself out there and she got it done. And that's why she got to make $1 million membership because she wasn't scared. I mean, saturated niche, you're going to go fight textbook companies selling to schools? Oh my gosh. Right. But she did it and she made it happen. And she didn't live into those fears. So I would always tell everybody, carve out your niche. It doesn't matter how red the ocean is or blue the ocean is. Like, what do you bring to the table that's different? What do you bring that's authentic? And I've never seen a niche that's too saturated to enter, honestly, in the online world, especially when you're selling information and you're delivering it in your style. And I definitely do not ever that person knows more than me. That's not true. That's not going to hold you back. So you just have to get over that. You got to go create it. You got to try it and let the market tell you if they want your version of that thing. Okay. But no fear. We're not going to be afraid of competition. Competition's a good thing. Competition tells us there's a pie and we just got to get a piece of the pie, baby. That's what it's all about. All right. Our next question comes from Joy. Joy says, my husband and I have a brick and mortar consignment shop, used furniture, home goods, etc. We are starting a YouTube channel about how we get our items to sell: yard sales, flea markets, auctions, donation, bartering. Okay, so you're basically business in a box here. You're teaching someone how to start a business opportunity. The particular business opportunity happens to be real world consignment shops, which there are tons of these out there, and I'm sure people need tons of help. My question is about a product to sell. I have no idea what our offer is. Right now, the idea is to make money from ads on YouTube. I would not make money from ads on YouTube. You're going to need, I think it's something like, to make $1,000 a month, you need 1 million views. I would not do that. Wouldn't it be a better idea to go get 100 consignment store owners to join your consignment store membership and learn how to run a successful consignment store from Joy? A more joyful consignment experience with Joy Evans, right? Like that would be a much better way to do that. Get 100 people to pay you $100 a month, you make $10,000 a month, right? And people would do that because if you tell people, hey, if you follow my program and I tell you how to source and I tell you how to sell and I tell you how to position your store and I tell you how to do all those things, if all this did was help you make $500 more a month on your consignment store, wouldn't that be worth $100? Of course it would, Joy. So yeah, I would totally go the route. And you need to look inside the Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. You need to watch the courses on product. You need to watch the course on membership mindset. Those 2 courses are going to really help you put this together. And if you've not done it yet, you need to go through the idea and get it outlined and go through the avatar. And I know someone who does this for pawn shops. And I would guess that there are less pawn shops than there are consignment stores, because I know the number for pawn shops because I've talked to them about it. Okay, there's over 25,000 resale and consignment shops in the United States of America, and I think pawn shops was like around 10 or 15. So he's doing this. He's killing it. He's got a massive community. He's doing some high-ticket coaching for his most successful people. Like, you only need 100 of those people to pay you $100 a month to make 10 grand a month. Right. So there's a good audience. You got about 25,000 of these owners. They all want to make more money. You clearly know what you're doing. You're the expert. You know how to source. You know how to create profit margin. You know how to run your business. I would start, you could still do all the stuff like on YouTube, like talking about I would do it more documentary style, what's happening in your consignment store that day. And then set up an email list with a free opt-in, like, the 10 best places to find deals for your consignment store so you can make a big profit margin. And then you get them into a membership where they can have access to you. They can come in. You can create some courses about different things. I don't know how to run a consignment store. Never got that far, but you can tell them how to do that. All the basic evergreen stuff. You can do Q&As just like this. And you can connect other consignment stores. Because here's the deal. Consignment shop owners in the same town might not want to help each other because they might consider themselves competition locally, regionally. But, if you've got 5 over here in New York, 5 over here in Texas, 5 over here in Florida, 5 over here in California. You got these consignment store owners from all over the country can share ideas, and they'll never even touch each other's businesses. And they'll be thankful to be put into a place where they can hang out with each other. So I would do it that way. You will not make money on YouTube ads unless you're getting 1 million subscribers, 1 million views, like a lot of people paying attention. It'll be pennies to the dollar of what you can make. If you had 20 people paying you $100 a month, that's $2,000 a month. Right? Like just 20 people. If you had 20 consignment store owners out of 25,000, then that's still going to add $2,000 a month to your bottom line. And that's who here would love $2,000 a month to their bottom line? Can I get an amen or a raise of the hands? Our next question comes from Darla. Burning question as I try to decide for sure on an idea. My search traffic for my idea on the keyword seems to be low. I'm seeing 810, 320, 260. Is that enough to go after an idea? Okay, Darla, what you have to remember is all those add together. When we first looked up elementary librarian, there was only 200 searches for it. But when we looked up things for like Dr. Seuss Week, there were 1,000. When we looked up Banned Books Week, there were 1,000. And if you start adding all those terms up, they add up to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 searches a month overall. There's 1,000 keywords in every niche, right? Darla, if you would give me your idea, I can even do some. We can look into it here on this as well. But basically, don't get caught up in search traffic, guys. That's not how we do it. You need to go into the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, and you need to look at the Vetting Your Idea course. I do not look at search traffic to see if an idea can make money online. There are a couple of different categories that I look for. Search is one of the things that we look at, but it's not the most important. There's 2 other ones that are way more important. Number 1, go to Amazon and see if there are books written about your topic. Books take a lot of time to effort. Books take an effort to write. Books take a lot of energy to get out into the marketplace. You go look on Amazon. Did someone write a book about your topic? And did people buy it? Are there reviews? That's the first thing we look for. Is someone making money with your idea now? Then go look in Google search and see if people are running ads. If you go search for whatever, take that word with 810, search for it in Google. If you see an ad at the top of your page, someone's spending money to target that search result. That means it's valuable. And if you'll just go into the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, watch the Vetting Your Idea course, you will see that search traffic is not the number 1 criteria, not the number 1 priority. You don't really need to worry about that. We know people who are in spaces in the Flip Lifestyle community who have very little search, but their niches are wildly popular and wildly profitable, so their online business works. elementarylibrarian.com had very low search, but it ended up being a multi-million-dollar business when it was all said and done. So search, if people are looking, that's phase 1. Yeah, that's awesome. You got 810 on one search. You got 320, 260. You got over 1,000 searches right there. People are 1,000 humans a month looking for whatever it is that you're trying to research for your idea. Now you got to go vet it. You got to go answer a simple question. Are people putting time and money into this idea already? And are people out there? Are there competitors? Do they exist? And are people buying products in this space? And that course inside the Flip Lifestyle community will help you do that. And it's called Vetting Your Idea. We can drop a link to it, I guess, in the chat box as well. But you've got to find out if there's already competition making money. That's more important than search traffic. We've seen very low traffic sites that get a very huge membership once they go after it because it's a very profitable niche. It doesn't really matter about the search traffic. Next question comes from Justin. I'm brand new to the community, and this is my first Q&A, just putting together my membership idea. Awesome stuff, man. I have I have a stale blog called nonprofitsuccess.com with an active lead magnet that has generated over 2,000 emails. Also haven't sent anything out to them in a long time. I want my membership site to niche down slightly and cover just fundraising. I think you could keep Nonprofit Success, though. That's a pretty good domain name, even though it's got a hyphen. And you just focus all your content on fundraising. I mean, a nonprofit's success is directly tied to its fundraising. So that's just a content choice, Justin. You don't have to. I don't think you got to change anything. You could call it nonprofitfundraising.com if you wanted to, but it's the same people, same stuff. I want my membership to niche down and slightly uncover just fundraising. Should I stick with Nonprofit Success name and blog, or move everything over to something more specific, like abundantfundraising.com? Remember, you don't have to change anything on the blog, guys. There's a thing called a 301 redirect. Right. And you can go on like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com. You can find someone to do this for you for nothing, like $50 maybe. Or maybe 100, but it's something you can hire someone else to do. You could probably figure it out yourself. It's not super complicated. You can just change your domain name like that. And then every piece of content going forward is just a little more hyper-focused on abundant fundraising. But I think you can, and I do like abundant fundraising better, Justin, only because it does not have a hyphen. His first domain name is nonprofit-success. That's not a terrible thing, but if you can get two words that are together, it is a little bit easier to tell people what your website is. So I do like that domain name better, but just change the domain name and move forward. Start changing the branding a little bit, leave all your old posts there. And I'll tell you right now, you need to start emailing your list Monday, Wednesday, Friday, period. You can email them old blogs. You can email them new articles you find. I don't care what you can just say, hey, how are you doing? But if you have 2,000 people on an email list, you could warm that list up. Maybe you get 400 or 500 of those people checking that email again. When you open your membership for fundraisers and nonprofit organizations or whatever, if that's what it's going to be, like it's going to be a lot easier. You've got members like waiting there. You got 2,000 emails. That's a lot of emails. That's a whole lot of emails. And you want to reactivate them. Best way to do it is if you're ever trying to reactivate a cold list, you just send them a message and you say, hey, it's Justin. Hadn't heard from you in a while. Found this great article. Had this great blog post about fundraising for your nonprofit. Just thought you'd like it, and drop a link. That's one. Next thing is like, hey, I'm Justin. Remember me from Abundant Fundraising? They won't remember. And then say, man, do you need any help with your fundraising efforts? Hit me back, and I'd love to talk to you about it. And get them to reply. And then from that point on, just start sharing content again and warm that list up. But this is not a start over situation. It's a change of domain situation. Just change the domain. I like Abundant Fundraising. That lets you niche down. And then just all your content from this day forward talks about the topic you want to talk about. You can keep it open, talk about other things, but warm that list up, man. And I would, while you're working through the idea courses, because we go deep on idea. Like if you've not watched those idea courses, y'all, you may have your idea, but you need to go watch every one of them and make sure you've dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's. You're going to be much better shape to launch this membership as you go, man. So hope that helps, Justin. Great question. Awesome question. We haven't had a domain question like that in a long time. All right. Let's see. All right. Kelly O'Brien, I'm going to circle back to her question here too as well. Kelly O'Brien says, let me add older women entering real estate, how to position themselves on social media and generally in marketing. That sounds like Kelly from Jersey Shore. That sounds like an awesome membership. Like I guarantee you there's a lot of that there are a lot of older women going into real estate. Let's say older women. I don't even know. I'm not going to date anybody here, but like pick an age group, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever it is that you pick. And they're probably intimidated by younger realtors. They're probably intimidated by men who are just super aggressive realtor shark, think highly of themselves, egomaniacs, right? And yeah, man, a membership where they had a mentor who had experience in the industry and who could help them overcome their fears, overcome their mindset issues, present themselves in a better way. Older people who might be intimidated by social media, like the content may just be the social media stuff, and everything else is just talking to each other about how to overcome these fears, hangups, and confidence issues, right? That they might experience in the workplace. I think that sounds like an amazing membership site. And all you need is 100 people to give you $50 a month, make $60,000 a year. You're telling me there's not 200 realtors over the age of, I don't know, 40, like right in the country that wouldn't sign up for something like that, like with some chops. So I think that's actually a really good idea. I mean, and I think your original question was about researching your niche. So whenever you're researching your niche, we've got a course about this. It's called Researching Your Idea. I think you should go into the Flip Your Life community tonight, go click on phase 1, and you should watch the second video in that phase. That's going to really help you go down the rabbit hole of researching it. But what we're looking for whenever we research a niche to say, is there a piece of the pie that I can get a hold of, is, are people already selling something in the niche? And are people searching for something in the niche? I promise you there is a over 40-year-old woman realtor who searched for how to sell more real estate or how to use social media today. And I promise you that there are people selling courses and books about this, but they ain't you, sister. They ain't you. They ain't Kelly. They can't speak with your voice. They can't say the things you say. They haven't lived the experience. They don't have the God-given experience that you do, that you can bring to the table to present this information to these 100, 200,000 women that might need you someday. So yes, I think that's probably a really, really good idea. And go in and research and vet that inside of that course, and it'll help you spell it all out. Also, too, watch the avatar training in the blueprint because it'll help you really define who this person is. I think you need a cutoff line. I talk all the time. Who's my youngest person in here right now? That's not on my team. You guys don't count. Young bucks. Who's in their 20s? Is anybody in their 20s? Who's in their 20s? Anybody in their 20s? I hope not. My targeting is fantastic if there's not anybody in their 20s. I'm just kidding. Like who's in their anybody who's 21? Okay, Kathy's 21. Okay, so Kathy's the youngest person in here. Love you, Kathy. Okay, now no, just kidding. Okay, all right. So look at this. Look how good the Flip Lifestyle avatar is written. Look how well the targeting is. That we are like Paul Clifford, 35. Sean, 35. See, man. Hey, man, we're looking for 30 and up parents. That's what we're looking for, man. How tight's the marketing in the Flip Lifestyle universe, baby? We just cut it off right where we need it to, right? And, but you have to be aggressive in that. Like, you need to say, if you're a 20-year-old Instagram model selling real estate, sorry, this isn't for you, sister. You need to be, like, aggressive with that. And, like, I say things like, if you're a 23-year-old millennial, or what are the millennials? They're 30. They're like 25. I don't know. If you're a zennial and you're 22 years old and you're trying to live on a beach in Bali for $7 a day, this probably ain't the place for you. We're going to be, you know what happened to me this morning? I woke up and I went out on my porch to drink my coffee, and Isaac came running out and goes, Dad, I got to go outside. And I said, why? And he just vomits all over the porch. That's what I'm dealing with, trying to run my business, and you don't get it, kid. Right? So I'm definitely, get off my lawn. Like, you got to be like, draw the line and tell people who you want, and you'll find them. They will come. They will be attracted to your message. Zennials are 35 plus. I'm a Zennial. I'm 42. Yeah, I'm the avatar, Carrie. Yes, I'm the avatar. Gen Z. I don't even know what that means. You know what I am? I'm an entrepreneur. You can have the rest of your labels. I'm just trying to make money over here. All right, the next question comes from Eric. Eric says, I am brand new here, and I'm struggling with building a membership-based business. My thoughts are I would love to use my 6 years as a single dad to help all single parents in a subscription-based business. Do you think this is viable? Actually, yes. I know multiple people who are doing this angle where they're like the dad, they're a single dad, and they're like having a community of people, almost like in a mastermind, like an iron sharpens iron kind of environment. Because, if you are a single dad, if you are a single parent, you probably feel really alone. You feel like you're going through everything alone. You're doing everything alone. You don't really know exactly how to handle certain situations. Maybe you don't feel like you've got anybody to reach out to. Maybe you just don't feel like you have anybody. And this is true for single moms as well, right? You just feel alone. And honestly, spaces where people feel alone are the best places to build online memberships and subscriptions, because it's not even about the content, right? You don't have to teach people how to heat up SpaghettiOs. Like, you gotta give people a place to talk and to each other so that they don't feel alone. You got to give them a place where they can go to a leader, a mentor, and say, listen, I'm a single dad. I've been a single dad for 1 month. You've been a single dad for 6 years. Help me, please help me, right? You can do Q&As just like this. It's a really simple membership. Now, there could be a content component to this. I don't think there needs to be necessarily, but you could have some things like maybe how to, maybe you could have some ideas on how to get kids to school in the morning and get to work on time. How to if you got 2 kids and you're a single dad, how do you get them both to practice? We have problems with that with both of us, me and Jocelyn, right? So there are things you can have trainings on, you can have advice on, but actually just creating a really solid community and creating a place where people can get leadership, like a mastermind. There's a really good membership that has nothing to do with single parenthood, but it's called Iron Sharpens Iron. It's by a guy named Aaron Walker. And he has these pods. What he did was, it's a higher end membership. So he charges I think he charges $500 a month to be a part of it. And it's business owners. And then his team aligns them with, how does this work? His team aligns them in the right pod, tries to put them in a right group of men. And they have like 12 to 15 people in each pod. But then there's like 15 or 20 of those pods. So there's like 100 of them total, right? Running around there. And basically that's what it is. It's a support group for men entrepreneurs who want to be great fathers and husbands, right? So he has that's what his mastermind's about. And I could see something like that coming up out of this. Like maybe you charge 50 to $100 a month. Don't assume that all single dads are broke. That's not true, right? But you charge $100 a month and you get these masterminds. Maybe you start with 10 people and you have $1,000 a month, and then you can create these pods and they kind of self-sustain each other. You give them a community where they all can talk together, but they have groups. And then maybe on top of that, you could do a leadership thing once a month where you could lead them. And your job in that membership becomes the facilitator. You become the collector. You're the connector, right? That you're just bringing the people together and giving them that place. You're putting in the work, you're creating the platform, and they get to connect with each other so they don't feel alone. If you can answer the question, there's a couple questions that everybody needs to ask their members, but the big questions are, what are you struggling with, and what makes you feel alone? If you can figure that out, guys, you can sell anybody anything, right? You just because you know exactly what to solve for them, right? So there's a lot of people doing that. I know people that make money doing that exact same thing, and you've got a different experience than they do. You'll have a different personality, you'll have a different angle, you'll have a different viewpoint, and you'll be able to, there's a group of men out there that need you to lead them through that, okay? So maybe target new single dads. That's who I would target if I was you, and go after them, and that's kind of how your messaging publicly is, and see if you can't put together a community of those people. Next question comes from Steve. Steve says, I want to develop a course to aircraft owners to refurbish their interiors as a DIY project. That's interesting. So I'm assuming these are like small airplanes. Is that what you're talking about, Steve? Like 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater type airplanes, prop planes, just things that people fly themselves. I'm assuming that's correct. Let me see. I got a little message here in the chat. Let me make sure I'm on the right page with Steve here. Yes, sir. He said, all right. I've been getting rave reviews on an aircraft type specific Facebook page for projects I've done on my own plane. Not sure how to transform this into a membership scenario. This is interesting. I'm gonna go a little out of the box here on you, Steve, and just kind of throw some mud on the wall. We'll see what sticks. All right. So a buddy of mine named Scott Beebe has an amazing podcast called Business on Purpose. An amazing friend, love his wife, just an absolute amazing dude, and love what he does, everything he does. Well, he got a project last summer. He said, I'm going to make my own conversion van. I'm going to buy an old conversion van. I'm going to redo the interior. So he redid the interior. He watched it all, and he followed all these YouTube videos. He was obsessed. I mean, people just get obsessed like with projects like this. So he redid the interior. They put a bed in, they put chairs in, all this stuff. And it was just his big thing. And he drove all the way up here from South Carolina just to show me the interior of his conversion van, man. So I really think this is something interesting that a lot of people are doing right now. Now, I don't know how many people own private planes. Okay. I don't really understand like how many people, have an airplane. I don't know how big the market size is for this, but I do know that people who are in spaces like this, like in the RV space, they are pilots, they are, helicopter, they can fly a helicopter and anything like that. They're usually super obsessed. And that's usually the perfect recipe for some kind of memberships. And also, again, small niches like this. I mean, it can't be, I don't know how many people own planes. Like, I don't even know. I'm going to Google this real quick. I got to know this. How many people own small planes in America? Let me Google this because I want some context, because this is a fascinating niche. How many people own aircraft in America? Let me see here. The general aviation. Oh, this is interesting. The general aviation fleet for the public, not American Airlines and all of that. All right, there's over 200,000 airplanes in the fleet, and it looks like about 6,000 are for hire or something like that. So let's assume that half of those are privately owned, right? That's 100,000 people. I mean, when we started selling elementary librarian lesson plans, there was only like 60,000 librarians. So that's a smaller niche than our $1 million business, the first $1 million business we ever had. So that's pretty cool. And you only need like 100 of them. And I would say too, like if you own an airplane and you're going to remodel your airplane, that's probably someone that has some money. So this is probably like a $197 or up membership. So, I mean, 50 people in a membership like that where you're personally like talking to them about modifications on their Q&As, and you have courses to show them how to do it, and like all those things, like that would probably, I mean, that's 50 people paying $200. That's 10 grand a month on a membership like this. You only need 50 human beings on the planet Earth that own one of these airplanes that want to remodel them to make that work. So the math is on your side. I think the math is definitely on your side. And I think it's really cool. And also, I'm sure that project, one thing we look for in great memberships is built-in retention. I mean, it can't be easy just to remodel a plane. I mean, I know Scott, when he was remodeling that conversion van for like a year, because these are not probably like handy men people. These are just people out there building their thing, and they're doing it DIY. So it's going to take them a little while to do that each month. You could have like a 6-month process that's like built-in retention, right? Like month 1, we do this, month 2, month this. In 6 months, you'll have a completely DIY project. Many steps, Steve says, many steps. So that would be my process. I would think in a term of 6 months for you, because some of your members are going to take 12 and some of them are going to take 3. That's just the way it is. They're going to get it done faster. Some people are just going to do it in 1 because they're bored, right? That's fine. But think about a 6-month process. What are the 6 steps to getting the entire inside of your plane completely redone? Then think about 4-week steps within those 6 steps, like 1 a week. We're going to do this week, this week, this week. By the end of month 1, we'll be here. So create a 6-month process for doing the conversion or the remodel. You probably need to do this live if you haven't filmed it. Like, you need to actually do one, I would say, and film it the best you can. And then what I would do, like, and then you can have your membership. They can come in and watch the training, and then you just do calls that are like, hey, I tried to bolt this thing into this floor and it didn't bolt right. What do I do? You know, you can talk to them about it, and you all can hash that out. They can hang out with other enthusiasts. I would guess these people probably don't have a lot of friends that have airplanes. They're going to want a community. You would be the expert because you've got the ones that you've done in yourself, right? Your free content would probably be a lot of time-lapse stuff where you're not really telling them how to do it, you know, but you're just showing them what you did. So they couldn't really figure it out. Like we have a guy in our community, his name's Evan Burse, and he does art. So instead, his public content is all time lapse. Like, he doesn't show you how to draw Batman. He shows you him drawing Batman in 2 minutes on a time lapse. And then he's like, hey, if you want to know how to do this, come inside the membership. Right. And then what I would do personally for free content too, is I would connect with other members or other people that you know in the aviation space, the niche, and I would like go out and see their remodel and film their remodel and show how cool it is. And like, you know, do they have like a little Pac-Man gear shift or something or whatever? Like, I would go, that would be my free content, is just kind of like showing cool planes that you know about, right? And connecting with people, and then just showing what's possible with a conversion. You know, kind of like Pimp My Ride used to be on MTV, where they redo the inside of cars, like something like that. That's probably the free content. So there's your whole business, Steve. Go find 50 people, charge $197 a month. If you find 100, you're making 20 grand a month. Holler at me. We'll ring the cowbell when you succeed. Good job, dude. Awesome stuff. All right. I've got a great success from the success master himself, Paul Clifford. Paul becomes just armed and ready to fire out some success stories every single week. Paul said, I just got my 50K swag from Kajabi. I've made $50,000 since opening my Kajabi account. Also reorganized all my courses to make it easier for my members to find what they like. What an amazing success story. $50,000, man. Hit that 50,000 mark. Let's give Paul a huge cowbell, man. He is crushing his membership, comes in with new members and new success stories every single time. That's because he takes action. He's in the community, talking in the forums. He's reading the Membership Masters newsletter, shanesams.com. Go check it out. He's doing what it takes, and he's using Kajabi, one of the most powerful tools that anybody can use to start, build, and grow an online business.
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing? Are you having doubts about your idea too? Oh, wait, hold on. This is a better question. Why is your doubt that how you can make content as a non-expert? What do you mean by non-expert?
So I feel, that I have a passion for the subject matter because my brother battles with the issue, but I'm trying to, as a non-expert, I'm not seeing myself as someone that has hands-on experience with it per se, because I don't, I'm not in the same country as my brother, so I don't deal with the day-to-day. But I know the impact that it has on family and things of that nature. So And I guess I'm trying to figure out what kind of content I would create around the topic.
Yeah.
And
Can you tell everybody what the topic is in general?
Right. So what it is, it's bipolar, and my idea is how to love through how to love your loved ones through, that are dealing with bipolar, and how to come out of it surviving at the other end.
So I just wanted you to give context to everybody. Let me hit pause there. See, I think the reason you're creating doubt for yourself, and we see this a lot, is you're confusing I need to be a psychiatrist who knows how to cure bipolar with I'm going through this and have experienced it, and I'm going to help someone else going through it who is experiencing it, right? You need to separate. You don't even have to talk about bipolar other than the fact that that's the condition that someone's suffering through in your family, right? Like, you got to tell the story, but like, you are an expert of having a family member with this condition. You are an expert of figuring out how to love them, even though it's very challenging, right? And you have earned the right to tell this story and to help and support other people, because that is the story that you have been given, right? So you don't have to be a medical expert in bipolar condition and disorder and disease, right? You don't have to do that. In fact, you don't even need to talk about the disease itself or the medicines they take or the cure. You've got to focus on, this is how I love them at holidays. This is how I love them when I need to help them. This is how, I take advantage of the good days, right? Like, this is the content you're going to write and you're going to talk about. And you're not even going to do it in a way that's instructive most of the time, right? It's probably going to be telling stories. Like, like my brother has bipolar and we were together for Christmas and this happened to us, right? Or I was having a bad day and it was a bad day for me to do. You're going to tell a lot of stories. And these stories are what draw people in. That's why we so focus on our podcast on story, because it's the stories that matter, And I don't have a master's degree in business. Jocelyn almost had one, but she dropped out. So I'm not allowed to show Jocelyn on camera, but she is over here. Oh, she has makeup on now. Say hi, Jocelyn. There you go. There he is. This is our office. Can you tell? This is our office.
Oh gosh, love it.
But,
I'm an MBA dropout. It's true.
Yeah, we have lots of coworkers in the floor. All of our dogs. So
we still have a Christmas tree.
Our Christmas tree's still up, and it's halfway through January.
We've been in Fort Lauderdale.
We've been in Florida this whole time. So I take it apart. You're expert enough in what you're going to be talking about. That's what matters. And you can teach that to people, and you don't have to have a degree or anything special. Your goal is not to have the greatest content on bipolar disorder ever. Your goal is to bring a community of people together who have family members and are going through this, so that you can go through it with them. Okay.
The next question comes from Brad. Brad says, "Hi, Shane. We are brand new to this community and brand new to starting a business." High five, Brad. Welcome to the family, man. We are in the stage of exploring our new ideas. Started out with the idea to help and show other families how to start homeschooling, but found there is not a lot of searches in that category. That is not true. But it seems like there's more and more families looking for homeschool programs. There are over 2 million kids homeschooling, and you got to search for the right things. People look for things like homeschool curriculum, math curriculum for homeschool, preschool homeschool curriculum. Type in homeschool curriculum and you'll see there are tens of thousands. I've done the research on this because I'm about to launch a homeschool site. It's all about history lessons. I've got a history curriculum for homeschoolers. It's going to be called the Patriot Curriculum. And I got everything in U.S. history laid out where a kid can log in, hit a button. I got a teacher teaching you. They got a test they can take online. It emails the test result to the parent. You know exactly if your kid is crushing that homeschool history curriculum. I've built this, so I know exactly that there are searches for this. So since I don't have an extensive background in sales and marketing the last 3 years, I do have an extensive background in sales and marketing. We are leaning toward the idea of building a community of people starting out a sales career. That's fine too. Seems like there's a ton of sales content when searching. However, I haven't seen other member communities that are all sales focused. Yes, there's hundreds of those too. We got one I can name 3 off the top of my head. Your Sales Maven, Nikki Roush. We got another one that a guy named Pip Stellick who's launching a career one for seminar speakers. Like sales is a huge thing for sales content. Which way do you recommend us going? So I would go with both those are great niches. There are millions of homeschoolers, millions, and there are hundreds of thousands of searches about homeschool. You just got to look for things like curriculum. Think about a parent, what they search for. But the homeschool thing has grown so much. I think it's going to grow huge in the new year, and I'm ready to dip my toes into that market. If you like the sales stuff too, if you're passionate about it, you want to go build that can work as well. You don't need to do both of them at the same time, but I want to stress to you that for sure I know the homeschool's got a lot of stuff. So what you do in the homeschool, if you're just like, how to be a homeschooler, and you're like, this is how we hang out all day and this is our path, like that might be a little difficult. But if you want to build a community of thousands of homeschoolers, I'm sure that could be done. You just got to flesh out your idea and figure out what problem you solve for them. Same thing with the sales thing. If you want to serve salespeople and you have that experience in the sales thing, how are you going to solve their problem? You need to go watch the product course inside the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint when you pick one of these ideas so that you can figure out what problem you're going to solve for them. But I can't tell you which way to go. I mean, that's up to you. That's up to your passion. That's up to what you want to serve. What do you feel most confident about? I know when we start businesses, we always lean into what we really are experts in. Just kind of doing homeschool. Maybe we're not as mega expert, but like you've got 20 years of sales experience. That does sound like you could really help people. But what kind of sales? Phone sales, real estate sales, car sales? Like you're going to have to niche that down. You can't just say all salespeople of all time anywhere. But I would just, whichever niche you pick, there's plenty of people doing both things. Don't look at search results, look at market size, right? Like when we searched for elementary librarian, there was almost no searches we could find. We didn't know what to look for, right? But we knew that there were about 100,000 elementary schools in America. So that means there's 80 to 100,000 librarians. There have to be. Like that is the market size for that niche. So we launched elementarylibrarian.com and we're like, can we get 1% of those 100,000 people? If we can do that and get 1,000 members, we're going to make it. So like that's what we did. We just looked for that. We looked at market size. Like how many people are homeschooling? 2 million. You just don't know what they're searching for yet because you didn't look it up long enough. How many car salesmen are there? How many real estate agents are there? How many phone salespeople are there? Like we know that those markets are huge. We just don't know what they're searching for. And that comes through experience, building content, seeing what sticks. And you got to do the process before you figure that part out. So that's why if you'll notice in the idea course, guys, I don't stress SEO anymore. There's 3 videos before I even say a word about keyword research just to check things, because I do not think keyword research is the end all be all for starting a market. Market size, product fit to solve a problem, and great marketing. That's what matters. Those are the things that matter. And that's where we spend most of our time on in the Flip Lifestyle community. So lean into what you want to try. Don't think it's an either or. It's a which do you try first. If you try homeschool for 3 months and you hate it, then go do the sales thing. You're not going to get this wrong. You just got to try something before you can get started and learn the ropes. So pick one and move forward. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. And we hope to see you inside of the community. Get out there, take action, do whatever it takes. Flip your life. We'll see you then.